right, I will be right there. I'm gonna grab another wawa. And then we start. Bro. Okay, I'm here. I'm here for realsies. Are we ready? Oh, I hear myself. Hold on. I was monitoring my own page. Wahoo! But how's my volume? Hope it's okay. Hope it's good. I'm gonna switch over in just a moment. I'm gonna pull up our BGM for today. Our BGM is gonna be some World of Warcraft music. You know that's right. I know that's right. Oh, I want to start off. Ooh, we'll start off in Teldrassil because I love you, Teldrassil. I love you, Teldrassil. It's not like we're gonna get there in the lore today, but you know, I still love my Night Elves and Teldrassil. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over, and then we can just get right into things. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm very excited today. Let's get that music going. Let's get that music going. We might have some duplicate sounds. Ooh, how loud is that? That's quite loud in my ear. Let me know how it is for you guys. I have it turned down low for me. How's this? Test, 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 test. Testing 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Hebby. And hello, Finn. Let's see who else. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. We got lemon. Oh, La Croix flavor of the day is my favorite Strawberry Peach. So if you pull Strawberry Peach today, you do get 2,000 points. But thank you for the Stardust, everybody. I have a lot to go through today, but at the same time, I am a little worried that I might have undercut myself because I stopped. Okay, so guys. Oh my god, double lemon. Double lemon is crazy. I stopped myself at 30 slides. I'm here for the lore dump. Yay! Hi, sorry. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to lore dump on you guys. I'm so excited to nerd out all over you. I'm so sorry in advance. But hi, Sari. How are you? Everybody go check out this beautiful fellow straw for me, please. She is so sweet and cute and does tarot card reading. Check that out this Friday. Also a fantastic artist and made their own rig as well, so go check them out. Hi, fellow sweet strawberry. You know what it is. Strawberries stick together. Strawberries stick together. But yes, I'm super excited. But I did cut myself off at 30 slides. I said, okay, Strawberry, we're at 30 slides and we haven't gotten to Azeroth yet. I think we need to calm down. And so I said no more than that. So I did not make any more than 30 slides. That being said, if I end up speeding through these slides and we finish under 2 hours, which is possible, which is very possible, I will switch over into a co-working stream after taking a short break. And so this will just become co-worky and then I'll end stream after that. A short co-worky probably. But we'll see how far we get. But what I have, I'm very excited. I might dive deeper into some of the details I have in these slides. So just to kind of eat into a little bit more time. Because I can yap about World of Warcraft, guys. Believe me, even without these slides here to back me up. Oh gosh, my head is full of lore. So without further ado, let's begin. Let's begin. Also, I made these slides without counting myself as like going to be there on the screen, so I'm gonna be kind of like moving myself all over the screen. So don't mind me. I also might switch to my chibi model at some point, just so I'm freaking out of the way. Or maybe we do the Dutch angle meta for this stream. Maybe we might do that. Who knows what we're gonna break out into. It's gonna get crazy up in here. Anyway, World of Warcraft, guys. All right, let us begin. Welcome to intro. I think upside down could work, actually. Upside down would go really well. Hi, there's the feet. You never get to see this part. Of me. Oh wow. Oh, I'm flipped though. I don't like it. It's too much. I'm already getting sick. I don't like seeing myself flip. Feet reveal. I've done that already, actually. One fantastic, amazing, awesome thing. One treat at a time, guys. Ladies, please. Okay, but welcome to the intro to the lore of World of Warcraft. Why isn't the screen animating like it should be? Hold on. Maybe because VTube Studio is in the way. There we go. There it is. I'm gonna move VTube Studio over to my other screen. Watch out. Hold on. I'm gonna get all freaky. I'm gonna get all freaky sizes. It's gonna freak out. But this is why I have triple monitors. This is why, exactly the reason. Okay, so welcome to the lore of World of Warcraft, my favorite game ever. Okay. Let's begin. Now, where do we begin? Before we get into the actual lore of the game, we're gonna get into what the heck is World of Warcraft. This is non-World of Warcraft player friendly. This is how I intended it to be. So, what is World of Warcraft? If you haven't heard of it, it's an MMORPG, or a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, and it's based off of its original 3 RTS games that are very, very old. The first one being from 1994. This is when the series started, guys. 1994. That's 31 years old. That's 1 year older than me. So it's been around for a while. We got Warcraft. Notice it's not World of Warcraft. It's just Warcraft. Warcraft 1. Orcs versus humans. The second year, we got Warcraft 2. The Tides of Darkness. That's 2 years older than me. Hey. And then, for whatever reason, it took a longer time in development, which, you know, sensible. Everybody knows, most everybody who's done Warcraft is like, the one that they know is Warcraft 3. Oh, I don't have a pointer. I need a pointer. But then I can't move myself. Oh, well, it's okay. This is part 1. Guys, by the way, this is part 1 to Intro World of Warcraft lore, because there's going to be parts. And because I stopped myself at 30 slides. But anyway, so there's Warcraft, Warcraft 2, and Warcraft 3, all of which being RTS games. Kono Kronos, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Did I turn off the alert sounds? I sure did. Let me turn them on so I can hear them with my ears. And if you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to just type them in the chat. I will try to catch them as I go. If I don't catch them, I will read through the rest of the chat vlog after stream. We're just in WoW 101. WoW 102 will be next semester. Exactly. This is WoW 101. Hello. Hi. Welcome in. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome to World of Warcraft Lore 101. Everybody make sure you have your notebooks, by the way. There will be a... I'm kidding. There won't be a quiz. But it would be funny if I made a quiz. I might put the quiz in the Discord. I might make a quiz. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna consider it. I might do a quiz. I have a question. How are you so cool and based? That's a great question. I wish I could answer. I wish I could answer. But anyway, so the Warcraft series was a RTS series, and RTS is real-time simulation. So essentially, in these games, you took little war units and you sometimes micromanaged them, macro-managed them. You had big groups, and then they'd fight other big groups, and then you have to manage your resources in order to maintain your little armies, and blah, blah, blah. They go, and then they fight. They fight each other. And they'd fight each other. Co-working section, it's just gonna be you making a quiz. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna write that down. So sorry, guys. You can blame Finn for this one. I'm gonna make a quiz during the co-working section. If we get to that. Yay, micromanaging. Exactly. And from what I heard, RTS games in general are kind of difficult. And Warcraft was one of those more difficult games. And I've actually been watching a playthrough of the remake, because they remade Warcraft 3. It's called Warcraft 3 Reforged. And I've been watching a playthrough, and they're like, damn, this is hard. So yay, micromanaging. We have another lore stream about how cool Strawberry is. No you. No you. Just like StarCraft. Wait, StarCraft is RTS, right? I'm not lying, right? I'm not lying on the internet, am I? I could be lying on the internet a couple times today. We'll see. Hopefully not. But yeah, they are high intensity. Yeah, it's an RTS. So you got that. Well, you got like Command and Conquer too. Wowie! It's Wowie Yowie Wednesday. You bet it is. You bet your booty cheeks it is. Hi, Icy. Welcome in. Hello, hello. I'm wowing out all over the place today. So those were the original 3 games. This was the precursor to World of Warcraft. So after that, we're not even going to touch the lore that's going on in these 3 games, because it's interwoven. It's very important. We're going to leave it behind. We're going to keep moving forward, guys. My apologies. So next. So World of Warcraft itself, let me scooch on over here, was released in 2002. Oh, no, wait. No, World of Warcraft, excuse me. I did lie on my first lie on the internet. It was released in 2004. My bad. It was released in 2004, and it expounded on the universe that was already established in the RTS games. Because believe it or not, those RTS games had a whole ass storyline. And so it expounded on that universe and became the well-known MMO it is today, the game that I am currently obsessed and addicted to. And as of right now, there are actually 2 versions of World of Warcraft, believe it or not, which is a little confusing, but let me explain. So there is World of Warcraft, as it is today, modern WoW, called Retail. And that is inclusive of all its expansions from vanilla up to modern day. Then, in 2019, they released the vanilla version, I was going to say of Minecraft, good old Retail and Classic. They re-released essentially the classic version as it was in its vanilla state before any expansions. And so now they are coexist 2 versions A lot like Minecraft, actually, with Minecraft, Java, and Bedrock, but it's different. Those are like side by side. Those are supposed to be side by side, and that's a whole other mess that I actually have deep lore knowledge about IRL that I can't get into, and I wish I could. I wish I could. Oh, the game dev secrets I could tell. Anyway, anyway, before I say anything that gets me in legal trouble, there is classic WoW and retail WoW, and so that's why there's two. That's why there's two. So overall, it's an MMORPG, so it's a role-playing game, but it is specifically a fantasy game. So we're doing fantasy only in here. It's not a sci-fi game, although there's sometimes some sci-fi elements, a little bit. OMG, you worked on it? I didn't know that. Not World of Warcraft. Oh, that'd be a dream. Oh, that'd be a dream. But I worked on Minecraft, and adjacently worked on Minecraft. I only got to work on a couple things, but I worked on a game called Minecraft Earth. So I worked on the Minecraft IP. I made the Moo Bloom. If you know the Moo Bloom, that was me. That was me. That's still so cool. Wow, thank you. Thank you, thank you. What? That's so cool. Nah, it's fun. It is what it is. I only wish I got to work on World of Warcraft. Maybe one day I'll get to work on World of Warcraft. Maybe that'll be my goal. Maybe this will be me as I go playing it. I need to get them to notice me that way. Thank you for the 10 stream streak. Icy, thank you very much. But anyway, WoW is a fantasy game, so very much think what's his name? Think Lord of the Rings-esque fantasy. Think deep fantasy. You got your elves, you got your humans, your dwarves. We'll get to that. We'll get to what races are in the game. Next slide. And you play as a hero based in the world called Azeroth. And when you're creating your character, you can play one of two factions. That's so cool. You're so cool. No, you, Uno reverse. What if I Uno reverse you? Wow. But yeah, this is what you're gonna hear a lot of the time. And people will be like, for the Horde, for the Alliance. So there's two factions in the game, and you can only play on one faction per character. So when you make a character, you either choose the Alliance or the Horde. If you're brand new, and each faction, so before I get ahead of myself, for the Horde, hey. Although I'm too much of a lover of night elves to let go my alley races. It's so hard, man. I do love the Horde, but I love my night elves more. But each faction has its own eligible races, that leads into this, that you can play. If you're a brand new player, there's some newer races that you can choose to be on either the Horde or Alliance, but those are newer and you have to work to unlock them. For the Horde! We got 2 for the Hordes out here. Let's go. Just want to stop by and say hi before my shift. Thank you. Night Elves are pretty base too. Maev is great. Maev, chef's kiss. I'm gonna have to do a whole other outside of the part, like we're doing timeline stream stuff soon, or timeline lore in this, but I'm gonna have to do a whole other stream for just specific characters. They're gonna be like mini podcasts for each character. Cause oh my chef's kiss. But anyway, next slide, please. Who's controlling this thing? Me. All right. So, what races can you play in World of Warcraft? So on the Alliance, you got classical human and dwarf, but you also have night elves, gnomes, an interesting race called the Draenai, and we'll get into that more soon. The Worgen, which is werewolves. And then you have, and notice the little stars, the little asterisks here. Where is my pointer? My mouse doesn't show up. That makes me sad. Lightforged Draenai. So the asterisk stands for allied races. So these are the races that you don't immediately have when you join in it. So say you have a brand new account, you log into battle.net, you launch the game, you do have the latest expansions, and you log in, but you don't have any characters that are leveled. You're creating your first character for the first time. You won't get the choices of the ones that are in asterisks because you have to unlock them. And you have to do little quest lines to do so. But anyway, for the Alliance, the allied races are Lightforged Draenei, Void Elf, Dark Iron Dwarf, which is just a dwarf, but like fire type, imagine. They're kind of like underground and they're working by the volcanoes, imagine. You got Kultiran human, which is humans from the island of Kultiris. And then you have the mecha gnomes, which is like robot gnomes. Just imagine gnomes, but like they're robots. Easy. On the horde side, you have the good old orc. We know orcs. So you got the orcs, undead, the tauren, which are cow people. Yes. The trolls, blood elves. Blood elves are like elves, but like sexier. Orc. And then you have the goblins, which are like, if you took the orcs and made them small and silly, they're like a counterpart to the gnomes. They're the same size as the gnomes, same model size, but they're funnier. In my opinion. Let me just highlight, like, this is opinion. A lot of the stuff I'm gonna say, opinion only. And then you have the Nightborn elves, also my beloved. And the Nightborn elves have a whole other story. Same with the Lightborn Draenai and the Void elves and all that. And we'll get into that later as well. Just know they're one of my favorites. Night elves and Nightborn elves. Just yes. High Mountain Tauren, which is the Tauren from a place called High Mountain. The Mag'har Orc, which are a whole bundle of that's a whole bundle of story that I'm not going to get into, but they're orcs that not yet turn green. Nightborn are also based, right? I love Suramar. I love the Nightborn. Favorite place ever. Legion best expansion. Zandalari trolls, which is the trolls of Zandalar. And then Volpera, which are also the same size as goblins and gnomes, but they're foxes. They're fox people and they're so cute. So those are those ones. And then you have races that you can choose which faction you join. So instead of being allotted to one specific faction or the other, if you choose one of these races, you can choose to make a Pandaren, which is exactly as it sounds, as a panda person. Panda bear person. Panda bears. Pandas. It was too Kung Fu Panda-esque to be like, oh, they ended up doing the expansion well, but it's just a little silly. Anyway, that's also opinion. Then there's the Drakthir, which are dragon people. Bipedal dragons, folks. Bipedal dragons, but you can also have a human form. Same with the Worgen. The Worgen, you can have a human form and make them all like, I don't know, sexy and stuff. And then you have the Earthen, which are dwarves, but rock. Yes. Dwarf, but rock. Trust. And then lastly, I left out a parenthesis here. Coming very soon in the modern expansion, the most up-to-date expansion is called Midnight. And this is a brand new race that's being released in Midnight called the Haranir. And they are, in my opinion, the precursor to trolls, maybe. Possibly. That is also opinion we have not yet confirmed. We have not yet confirmed. But I'm going to click on this. And we're gonna dive a little deeper. We're gonna dive a little deeper into the races. So hold your horses. Hold your horses, folks. I have it set up properly, I swear. 1 second. There we go. Look at this. The denizens of Azeroth. Let me move my big old chonky head out of the way. Let me just Dutch angle this. I cannot hold my horses, they're racing. Oh, that's so true. Well, when they're done racing, then you can hold them in. Ow! Imagine being able to hold your Umas in your hand, like the little small plushy versions. Just hold them in your hand. Anyway, different game, another brain rot, different time. But maybe one day. Ooh, maybe after I watch all the anime, Uma Musume lore presentation. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's look at the races that we just went through. So we'll start with the humans. The plain old humans. They're very boring. In my opinion, I'm so sorry. But they're the humans. Yeah. Oh, wait. Before we get to the humans. Okay, we're gonna take one step back. I big fat lied. I keep lying on the internet, guys. I promised I wouldn't, but here I am. We're lying on the internet. I didn't mean to. Okay, before we go back to that, really quick, let's go over the classes you can play as. The consequences of high fantasy settings. Humans will look boring. It is what it is. It's not their fault. But they're boring AF. Anyway, so when you create your character, either on the Horde or on the Alliance, you then choose your class. Choose the class you're gonna play as. And we got, the run-of-the-mill fantasy classes here. They're all very, very fun. And they each have their own subclass that you will spec into called specializations. You spec into them at about level 10, I think. And we will also dive deep into these classes as well, because we can. But we're going to go back and we'll dive into the races. Wait, there's an ad break. Uh-oh. We can't have this. I told myself I was going to keep track of it. Sorry, I'm late. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. It's all good. All right, I'm going to switch over really quick. Oh, Dutch angle. Dutch angle time. We're going to go on a quick ad break, let the ads play out, because I'm going to milk every second of World of Warcraft yappiness I get to yap at you guys. So we'll be right back after these messages. All right, we're so back to World of Yapcraft. World of Yapcraft. You'll be enthused to hear I got a WoW ad during the ad break. Let's go. Let's freaking go. They're sending you the content I'm aiming for here. Let's go. Okay, but welcome back. Welcome back. As I was saying, let's get back to it. Dutch angle time. As I was saying, these are the classes you can play as. So, not every Wowception. We're taking a quick break from WoW to show you an ad about WoW for real. For real. Thanks, Twitch. Thanks for accommodating my WoW stream. And providing, you know, proper contextual ads. I really appreciate it. Hi, puppies. But anyway, so when you're creating a character and you're done selecting your race and you're... What is that sound? My dog is distracting me. You then select your class, and certain races can't be certain classes. Some classes are restricted to specific races. So, for example, druids, night elves can be druids, but blood elves can't, for example. They can be, blood elves can be paladins, and then night elves can't be paladins. And so it depends, depending on the race, there's going to be some restrictions to what class you can play as. I forget which race has the most available classes for you to play as. but that's besides the point. And then, so there's warrior, hunter, mage, rogue, priest, warlock, paladin, druid, shaman, monk, demon hunter, death knight, which is essentially paladins of death, and then evoker. Evoker is actually, I think this is still the case. I'd have to double check. I could be lying again on the internet. Evoker is specific to Drakthir only. They're the only ones that can wield dragon powers because it's like dragon aspect powers is what they're doing over here. I think Darkspear trolls have a lot. Yeah, I think the trolls do get a lot because they can be druids. Right? Yeah, they can be druids. They can be shaman. Can they be shaman? No, I don't think they can be shamans. I'd have to check. I have to open up WoW, which we could do. We could do on stream. But my favorite class, my favorite class to play as is druid. I play a feral druid. Like I said, there's subclasses to each of them. We won't dive into all the subclasses of all the sub specializations of all the classes, but just know that there's a good amount. They can be chamois. They can be chamois? Okay, so maybe, yeah, it seems like the trolls have a good amount because I'm pretty sure they could be most things except for like priest. I don't think they can be warlock. And then demon hunter is special to elves only. And that is for lore reasons. Actually, pretty much all the restrictions on classes to race-based character, like based on which race you're playing, is due to lore reasons for the most part. For the most part. For some others, it's like, okay, wow, okay, Blizzard, can we have this class, please? Oh, demon hunters, yeah, they can't be then. They can be everything except paladins, evokers, yeah, and demon hunters. Only restriction, or demon hunters can only be elves. So if you play any kind of elf, you can be a demon hunter. Can you be a nightborn demon hunter? These are the questions. These are the questions we will answer in a moment, because we're gonna go back and look at a deeper dive on all the races, the denizens of Azeroth, if you will. Why do I keep sliding away? I keep sliding away. There we go. Back to this. Where is that page? That is the question. Okay, I'm over here now. All right. So, first of all, here they all are again. If you forgot which the Alliance races are, Nightborn Demon Hunters someday maybe. That'd be cool. Like they're a little bit late for the Illidan moment, but like it'd be cool. It'd be cool. They'd have their other reasons. Like Sargeras was okay. I won't get into it. I want to so bad. I will. We gotta get there one step at a time. Okay, so here we go. So we got the races of the Alliance. We got human, dwarf, night elf, gnome, Draenai, worgen, Pandaren, and Drakthir. Let's go to human first. Let's check them out. The humans. Human kingdom of Stormwind forms the backbone of the Alliance. Stormwind's willingness to work with others to find... Oh, it's going to tell us here. That's why I went over the classes. I remember now. We don't have to open up the game. Its citizens hold fast to the principles of honor and justice as they defend their settlements and the Alliance against any aggressors. Yes, humans. Boring. I said what I said. But you can be a warrior, a hunter, a mage, a rogue, a priest. I've never played rogue, actually. I need to play rogue one day. Warlock, a paladin, a monk, and a death knight. And for each specific race, you get specific racial traits that are kind of fun and cool, and they give you little buffs. I actually didn't know the humans buff traits. No place like home. Hearthstone cooldown is reduced by 5 minutes. Will to survive removes any stun effects. Human spirit. Secondary stats from all sources increased. Wow. Wow. And so the home city where you start in, essentially for the humans, is going to be, or start around. I think you start like right next to it in the Elwynn Forest, but that's besides the point. This is the home base for humankind, is Stormwind. And there's reasons for that. I can't wait to get to that. That might not get to it today, but we might. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, your racial mount is horse, is a giddy up horse. Uma moment. This is the heritage armor, and their leader is Anduin Wrynn, although he is kind of MIA at the moment. He's finding himself. He's on a journey of self-discovery. We support it, but also like he needs a little bit of therapy. Anyway, Onto the dwarves. I love the dwarf insignia. They're so cool. Dwarves are so cool. I do really appreciate the dwarves. Bold and courageous. Dwarves are an ancient race descended from the earthen. Remember I said rock dwarves? They were rock dwarves. Descended from the earthen, Titan-forged beings of living stone who got the curse of flesh, and that'll come along later too, were created when the world was young. Hailing from the mighty city of Ironforge in the snowy peaks of Cosmodan, the dwarves are courageous defenders of the Alliance. I forget when they joined the Alliance. And they can be warriors, hunters, mages, rogues, priests, warlocks, paladins. Oh, they can be paladins? Yeah, no duh. They can be paladins. I don't know why I didn't realize that. Shamans, which actually surprises me. And monks and death knights. I think most of the races can be death knights. The racial traits are explorer, finds additional fragments from archaeological digs. Frost resistance, they're used to the cold. Might of the mountain, critical strike, bonus damage, and healing increased. And stone form removes all poison, disease, curse magic, bleed effects, and reduces physical damage taken. They are very sturdy. They are very sturdy folk. Their home city is Ironforge, the Ironforge of the mountain. Their racial mount is a ram. And their leaders are the Council of Three Hammers, because there's actually 3 factions to the dwarves, or there was. We'll get into that later. You know what it is. You know what it is. One of those factions being the Dark Iron Dwarfs, and that's why they're an allied race. Next up, my favorite race. My favorite, my babies. These are my faves. Look at their cool insignia. They got glaives and shit. Their ears are buck-ass long. They can hear everything. They got glowy eyes, purple and green hair. The ancient and reclusive night elves, also known as the Kaldori. Also, this is the for those who are listening into the live stream, the BGM is the intro to the night elves scene. So very, very exciting. Nelf better than everything else. I agree. I agree. That's gonna get me some heat, but I love the night elves so much. They are also known as the Kaldori, have played a pivotal role in shaping Azeroth's fate. Fighting for the Alliance, many Night Elves today still remember the events of the War of the Ancient over 10,000 years ago, when they halted the Burning Legion's first invasion of Azeroth. These ferocious elves will fight tooth and nail to ensure their sacred lands are never again tainted by evil. They are very nature-based race. They are very into nature magic, but also into arcane magic. They're very magical beings. But the Night Elves themselves, they actually aren't from the Eastern Kingdoms. They actually live on Kalimdor. I'll get into that a little bit more later too, but it's kind of funny because most of the horde races are based in Kalimdor. Meanwhile, the Alliance are mostly based in the Eastern Kingdoms, but the Night Elves are partially from Kalimdor. But that's because the Night Elf Empire was very, very big way back when. It was very, very big. But anyway, they're my faves. They used to be immortals, and they're not immortals anymore, but they still live really, really long lives, as long as their ears. So I love them. They're very cool. And then we got the gnomes for people who like, what's that punk? What's the punk called? Not cyberpunk. Why is that the only word that's coming to mind? Mechanical punk. What is it called? Anyway, the clever, spunky, oftentimes eccentric gnomes present a unique paradox among the civilized races of Azeroth. Their remarkable optimism in the face of calamity symbolizes truly unshakable spirit of the gnomes, and their balanced creativity. Enjoy the lurk. Hi, Adder. Thank you for the lurk. 5 streams. Thank you. Steampunk. Thank you. Thank you. If you like steampunk, you will like the spunky little gnomes. I've never played as a gnome myself, but they are little spunky little guys. And their balanced creativity and ingenuity is rivaled by only by their commitment to the Alliance's cause. And they have really high-pitched voices because they're little guys. They're really funny. Oh, I forgot to say. I forgot to. Oh, hold on one sec. Okay, so for back to the Night Elves really quick, they can only be pretty much, I think almost every class can be a warrior. Hi, Maki! Hi! Thank you for stopping in. I'm glad you're able to stop by. Everybody, really quick, say hi to Maki. Sorry, I'm crooked right now. Hold on, let me just like, let me like straighten myself out and like Imagine me like brushing myself off, standing up straight. Hi, Mackie. So this is our book club creator. You know, the book club I've been talking about to you guys all the time. Please go follow Mackie. She's a wonderful... Is it Mackie or Maki? I just realized. I never asked how it's pronounced. Oh my God. Okay. I'm so sorry. Please correct me at some point if I'm saying it wrong. But anyway, go check out her content. It's so cozy. Obviously, it's World of Warcraft content, which is awesome. And if you want like a good cozy place to start, I highly recommend going and checking out her community and joining. If you want to join the Discord and join the book club, you can. If you're big WoW nerds like me, be sure to go check her out and have a good time. But thank you for stopping by. It's good to see you. And thank you again for letting me shout out this event in the Discord. I really appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to my crooked little corner. Wow. At this point, every character can be a warrior, a hunter, a rogue, mage, priest, or warlock. That's what I feel. That's why, like, when I look at the character creation. Because I have too many tunes. Of course, OG Hi, no worries. It sounds like Mackie, but no worries if it's the other way. I'm good with either. Okay, good to know. Because I'm like, I don't know, the H in my head made me go ma-ah, ma-ah. So now I know. I know. I'd asked myself that question. Like, I'm like, wait, but I say Maki, but I think it could be Mackie. But thank you. All right, but yes, where was it? Night elves. You can be warrior, hunter. I actually played a night elf hunter for quite a while. Mage, rogue, priest, as we said before, warlock, which is also a little bit surprising, but kind of interesting lore-wise. But anyway, druid, monk, demon hunter. You see the demon hunter prop up for the first time, and then death knight. And then the racial traits. I love these racial traits. It's so fun. You got nature resistance, so reduces nature damage when taken. And then you have, sorry, you can hear my Discord pings. Quickness, which increases the chance to dodge and movement speed. But the best buff in the game, shadow meld. You can slip into the shadow and become hard to detect. You essentially go invisible. Enjoy your lurk. You're so sweet, of course. Happy to have you in the community. I go lurk mode and watch all this wonderful info. Yay, thank you. Enjoy your lurk. Have a good time. Thank you again for stopping by. But yes, my favorite, shadow meld, because you can sneak by if you don't want to pull any mobs, and you just want to get your shit done and you don't have to deal with it. You just shadow meld. I go tiger form, shadow meld, boom. I get through things so fast. It's so nice. Touch of Balloon increases haste, and then wisp spirit. So when you die as a night elf, instead of like being a spirit, you become a little floaty wisp. You have a little bit of movement increase, because when you die in the game, you have to go back to your body if you don't want to talk to so there's an angel that appears in front of you, and if you talk to them, you get resurrection sickness, and it's kind of an annoying debuff if you're playing PvP. So this is a little nice buff. Hi, Saka. Hello. Welcome in. Hello. But that's a night elf. Oop, hello. That's me. Let me not zoom in on my face. Let's go back to the gnomes. So we read the gnomes. So the gnomes can be warriors, hunters, mages, rogues, priests, warlock, monk, and death knight. I feel like they have like the least selection. It could be maybe I could be wrong. It could be less for others. And their buff is arcane resistance, engineering specialization. So if you take you can take types of jobs, or types of, what do you call them? Professions. You can do professions in the game. It doesn't super matter as much in retail. It mattered a lot more in classic, but gnomes are great with engineering, so you get a little buff for engineering skills. They're escape artists. They can move. It removes impairing effects. Ooh, that's kind of nice too. I don't play gnomes, so this is kind of new to me. Expansive mind increases maximum secondary resource, and nimble fingers increases haste. Hi, Mr. Duckins. Hello. Welcome in. Their racial mount is a mechanostrider, so it's a robot bird. You get a lot of robot stuff, lots of steampunk, and their home city is the city of Gnomeregan. That's where the gnomes are, and their leader is King Gelbin Mechatork. Yes, mechs. He's in a mech. He's got a mech suit on. So if you like that, then gnome's your guy. Okay, the Draenai. They're going to be very important later in this stream. Very important. And this is a little bit of spoilers for a little bit ahead of the stream. But the Draenai, fleeing from the ruined world of Outland, the shattered remains of a planet once known as Draenor. Or is it either Draenor or Draenor? But I say a Draenor. The mysterious Draenai crash landed on Azeroth, where they pledged their loyalty to the Alliance and vowed to destroy their bitter enemy, the demonic Burning Legion. Mechatork, a real G. He is a real G. He is a real G. In the wake of the Legion's defeat, the Draenai now seek a new destiny in the blessed light. They are very much light-based creatures. They are very... They pull their power source from the light, just like the druids, or the druids, I keep calling them druids. The night elves are very nature-based and arcane-based. The Draenai are very light-based and arcane-based too. They can be warriors, hunters, mages, rogues, priests, warlocks, paladins. You often see a lot of paladin Draenai. Shaman, monk, and death knight. They get the gift of the Naru, which heals the target over a short period of time. Gem cutting is their preferred profession, or like a better profession for them because they get a little bit of skill increase. And heroic presence increases your strength, agility, and intellect based on character level. And then shadow resistance. They are resistant to shadow damage. And their home city is the Eredar, which is actually a ship that's on Azeroth, and we will get to that. Their racial mount is an Elk, so like it's an elephant. It's an elephant, guys. And their leader is Prophet Velen. The immortal Prophet Velen believes that the great war between the darkness and the light is fast approaching, and that Azeroth will be its principal battleground. He stands bravely beside his allies to ensure Azeroth is ready when the time comes. Ooh, big foreshadowing to stuff we're not going to even get to talk about today. This is the Worgen. So, guys, if you like werewolves, we got the race for you. We got the ones you can play. Here's the werewolves. I really love their insignia so much. It's so good. Their starting area is very gothic, very is it Victorian or Edwardian? It's very a sickly Victorian child era look. That's the Worgen. They're actually maybe it'll explain it here. We'll see. Behind the formidable Greymane Wall, a terrible curse transformed many of the stalwart citizens isolated in the kingdom of Gilneas into lupine beasts known as the Worgen. Unable to cure their affliction and besieged by the dreaded Forsaken, the Worgen learned to control their ferocity thanks to the help of the Night Elves. Coming in clutch, Night Elves. The Worgen now stand ready to unleash the beast within at any moment, at a moment's notice, into the defense of the Alliance. You see, werewolves. The classes they can play as is warrior, hunter, mage, rogue, priest, warlock, druid. This is a new one, and monk and death knight. Druid because essentially it's like druidic magics that curse them. We won't go too deep into it, but the night elves, because the night elves, you know, are versed in the druidic magics, and a lot of them are druids. They were able to kind of help the Worgen through the curse that was afflicted upon them, where they became rabid wolves. Awoo! And their home city is the city of Gilneas, which was a kingdom, a human kingdom, which was part of the it was back and forth. They were kind of in the Alliance, kind of not, and then eventually in the Alliance. So that's a story. That's a story for later too. The racial mount is also a horse because they're still essentially human. So you do get a human form when you play as a Worgen. So you have the Worgen form and then the human form. So you do get to be both. You get Porque no los dos. And their leader is King Gen Greymane. A veteran of several wars against the Horde, Gen acts now as the trusted advisor to the young King Anduin Wrynn of Stormwind. Stalwart and strong, Greymane seeks to secure lasting peace for the Alliance and remains intent on one day reclaiming his lost kingdom. Okay. We'll go over to the two allied... There should be more. Where's the... Hold on. Where are the Dark Iron Dwarves at? Let me zoom out. I was going to say, it definitely wasn't showing all of the races here. Okay. Let's go to the Dark Iron Dwarves. We're still just in the Alliance. Re-enhance this. Gonna real ride or die. He is a real ride or die. I really love I love his voice. I love his voice actor. We gotta watch some cinematic. Maybe we'll spend some time during the break in co-working at the end to watch some cinematics. In-game cinematics are they're pretty good. But anyway, here is the Dark Iron Dwarves. So they're dwarves, but they're Dark Iron Dwarves. What's the difference? Known for their fiery tempers and fierce determination, Dark Iron Dwarves have a turbulent history with the other clans. So there was, like I said, there is 3 clans of dwarves. And this is just one of them, the Dark Iron Dwarves. A failed coup in Ironforge ignited the War of the Three Hammers, and many of the Dark Iron once fought in the service of Ragnaros, the Fire Lord. Everything changed when the Fire Lord attacked. I know it's Fire Nation, but like, yeah, you know, Fire Lord. Fire Lord is an elemental creature from the Fire Plane. Anyway, they fought in the service of the Fire Lord. Though the faction of the dwarves is pledged to Queen Regent Moira Darcian, others refuse to stand alone alongside their kin. The Alliance seeks a united Dark Iron clan to harness the power of Azerite and aid their struggle against the Horde. So they came out in... Did they really come out in BFA? Is that when we got Dark Iron Dwarves? No way. I thought they were older than that. Well, that's news to me. So here's the classes: Warrior, Hunter, Mage, Rogue, Priest, Warlock, Paladin, Shaman, Monk, and Death Knight. Their hometown is Stormwind Embassy for some reason. And their racial mount is a Dark Iron Corehound. It's very, like I said, they're very lava-y, very, very mountainous, fiery They're fire dwarves, like I said. They're fire dwarves. Very cool, though. I do enjoy them. I think I started to run 1 Dark Iron Dwarf. Hi, J Sizzle, Photosynthesis, Mitochondria, and Very Tortellini. It is very Tortellini of you to be here today. How you doing, sir? It's good to see you. We're doing some World of Warcraft lore. World of Yapcraft. How are you so good at this? You got the seltzer. Everybody who's here also, feel free to pull your seltzer gotcha. So the goal of it, essentially, I'll tell you the flavor of the day. The flavor of the day is, in fact, strawberry peach. If you pull the same drink that I am drinking today, you get 2,000 points in my channel. Or 2,000 stardusts. 2,000 sprinkles of stardust. Let me get you. Let me get you, girly. Let me get you your stardust really quick. I also need a refill. Guava. What do you mean gotcha can give you more than just lemon and pamplemousse? Have you pulled those a lot of times? I'm vibing like a chicken salad sandwich. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. God, I haven't had a chicken salad sandwich in a long time. Where is users? There they are. J Sizzle. The goat. The great. You are now at 6,069. Sprinkles of stardust. You mad lad. Okay. Onto the Lightforged Draenai. So these are Draenai, but they're Lightforged. What does that mean? For untold millennia, the army of the light waged war against the Burning Legion throughout the Twisting Nether. The Draenai, most committed to the long crusade, would undergo a ritual to become Lightforged, infusing their bodies with the very essence of holy light. After finally achieving victory on Argus, the Lightforged Draenai have undertaken a new mission, protecting Azeroth from rising threats and helping the Alliance push back Horde aggression. What do we use Stardust for? So it's essentially... I know it doesn't actually apply to the redeem points as much as I wish it would. But you can use them to gamble when I do polls. So you can bet your Stardust on things. It's for the vibes. No, eventually it will be for stuff, but for now it's for the vibes and for gotcha and for other kinds of gotcha when gotcha does happen. So maybe hold them in your pocket for a little bit. So the Lightforged Draenai are exactly as it says on the tin. They are Lightforged. They underwent a ritual where they became essentially doused in the holy light. They could be the run-of-the-mill ones you see here. These are kind of just like the standards you get. So I think almost every class can be warrior. Like I think you were right, Bolshak. So warrior and mage, warrior, hunter, mage, rogue, priest, warlock, paladin, monk, and death knight. Their racial traits are forge of light, increases blacksmithing, so they're good at being blacksmiths. They have holy resistance. They're resistant to holy damage because they are very much holy themselves. Light's judgment. I use this a lot. Sometimes it comes in clutch when I'm out of my rotation, or I've messed up my rotations and things are on cooldown and I'm like, I need something, and then I light judgment, pew, zap them. Light's reckoning, erupt upon death, dealing holy damage. So when you die, you explode light. And then Demon Bane, experience from gains from killing demons increased by 20%. I was able to fast track my Light Forge Draenai when I played Legion Remix for that reason. They're also in Stormwind Embassy. Their racial mount is a Light Forge Fell Crusher, which is just essentially a light elephant. It's a light elephant. It's a glow-in-the-dark elephant. They're very cool. Okay, the Void Elves. Also very cool. These elves in particular are going to be very, very pertinent in this in the most up-to-date upcoming expansion pack, because it's all about the Void. It's all about the Void. Look how sick their insignia is. Many have sought to harness the corruptive magic of the Void. Most who have tried have fallen into madness. Determined to use this power for the good of Azeroth, Illyria Windrunner is the first mortal to succeed at defying the Shadow's whispers. Coming to the aid of a group of her kin who nearly gave in to the darkness, Illyria has vowed to train these Void Elves to control the shadows within them and pledge their newfound powers to the Alliance. So these kinds of elves are called Rendorai, and they are just essentially voidy. They're void. The Void Elves says on the tin. They're Void Elves. They do void magics. And they also have really cool racial traits. They got Chill of the Night, reduces shadow damage taken. Entropic Embrace, your ability sometimes send you into a Void Locus, granting bonus shadow damage or healing. Ethereal Connection reduces the cost of transmogrification, which is so nice, but I wonder how that's going to change in the new times. But we'll see. Preternatural Calm. Your spellcasts are not delayed by damage. Oh, I didn't even know this. Spatial Rift, you can teleport to a nearby destination. It's kind of like Blink for mages, but Void. They're very cool, and they'll be very important very soon. Let's go over the Horde before I do Pandaren and Drakthir, because those are like, they're not neutral races because you do have to choose a side in the game. It would be really cool if one day they would do neutral faction, but I'd imagine that'd be a pretty big ordeal and would take quite a long time. Let's get to, sorry guys, sorry for your eyeballs. Sorry for your eyeballs. All right, let's get to the Horde. Let's get over it. For the Horde. Hi, Get This. Hello. We're getting to it. For the Horde. So the Horde. The indomitable Horde is driven by unity. The fervent keepers of freedom and hope relentlessly oppose any who threaten these ideals, including the stringent alliance. That would be a huge amount of depth. It would be, because everything is very, very based in the faction versus faction. It would be really interesting though, because there are races that really fall into especially with the Pandaren. It'd be fascinating. Maybe in another 20 years. We'll see. But you got the Orcs, the OGs of the Horde. These are the founders of the Horde. The Orcs once lived as shamanic clans on the lush world of Draenor. Notice the similarities. Notice the Draenai were on Draenor. Notice the Orcs were on Draenor. You could keep that in mind. Take notes. If there was going to be a test question, you might want to write this down. Lived on the lush world of Draenor. Corrupted by Kil'jaeden, a demon lord of the Burning Legion, they invaded the world of Azeroth. Eventually, able to free themselves from the demonic influences, the Orcs settled in Kalimdor, erecting their great capital Orgrimmar, from where they fight to find their place in the world they once came to conquer. Orcs are very, very cool. I very like the Orcs. I've never played as one, but they're very cool. and I gained a lot of appreciation from them. Shout out Rise of the Horde, book by Christy Golden. You should read it, y'all. And actually, if you want to begin it, I did do a short reading stream where I tripped over my words many times, but we did get through chapter 1 through... Did we get to 5? Either we got to 5 or 4, I forget. A curse on you, Gul'dan. Ptui. That's right. We hate Gul'dan out here. Anyway. The racial traits are Blood Fury, increases attack and spell power temporarily. Hardiness, duration of stun effects is reduced. And Command, damage dealt by pets are increased. And their home city is Orgrimmar in Kalimdor. They ride wolves. Like, hello. You know who else spits on the Horde? What are you going to say? Nobody, because they removed the ability to spit emote on anyone in WoW. Oh, good. Did they used to? No way. Was that when was that removed and when was that available? I'm glad they did. That'd be rude. That'd be rude. Gul'dan is cursed with being a raid boss. It's true. That's a whole other, imagine. That's a layer of hell in and of itself. Imagine being cursed to be a continuous raid boss for all of eternity. Endless. That's a layer of hell, for real. Let's see. And their leader is to be determined. They used to be led by a war chief. In modern days, they're led by a council, but they're kind of figuring things out right now. They're going through some self-discovery. Things are happening. After the death of Varric Saurfang, the orcs have yet to formally name a leader. However, the former war chief Thrall has stepped forward to represent the orcs at the Horde Council. While other veterans like the famed warrior Eitrig serve to keep the people strong. So it was available until WoW Classic first came out and people could buy boost to 58 and people would spit on people that bought the boost. Low key, that kind of application is a little funny. They bought the boost. Thrall, that's my boy. Yes, we love Thrall. We love Thrall out in here. Shout out Thrall. I love Thrall. That was the best. Discover more races. How come it doesn't take me back to the Horde? What the heck? It only shows me the Alliance races. Okay, next. We got the Undead. They also have a very cool insignia, otherwise known as the Forsaken. Death offered no escape for the scores of humans killed during the Lich King's campaign to scour the living from Lordaeron. When his grasp over the Scourge faltered after the Third War, a contingent of undead broke free of their master's iron will, calling themselves the Forsaken. They now struggle to thrive in a world that has come to despise their existence, which is so effed up, man. They used to be people. They used to be human. And they're still people. They're just undead. They were brought to undead, and it wasn't their fault. Poor undeads. Undeads, my beloved. I've never played as one, but you know, it's still sad. Anyway, their home city is the Undercity, a winding network of catacombs, crypts, and rivers of poisonous sludge. Flow through the vast Undercity. Toxic fumes permeate every corner of the stronghold that are almost unbearable for the living. Just the way the Forsaken like it. They like their space, man. What can I say? And their racial mount is a skeletal horse. See, because they were humans. They were humans. Now they just are humans, but the undead kind. All right, we got the Tauren. Our beloved Tauren. The peaceful Tauren, known in their own tongue as the Shahalo, have long dwelled in Kalimdor, striving to preserve balance of nature in the behest of their goddess, the Earth Mother. Once nomadic in nature, the wandering Tauren tribes have since united and settled in their ancestral homeland of Mulgore. And that's their insignia. They're very cool. They're very elemental based, kind of a lot. Very similar to the orcs in that way. I really loved Rise of the Horde. The Rise of the Horde was so well written, and you can see a lot of similarities between the Tauren and the orc and their beginnings. So their racial traits are brawn, critical strike damage and healing damage increased. Cultivation, so they're good at herbalism as a profession. Endurance increases stamina based on character level. Nature resistance, similar to the Night Elves. Resistant to nature. And War Stomp, stomps on the ground stunning nearby enemies. Their home city is Thunderbluff, and their racial mount is a Kodo. And their leader is High Chieftain Bane Bloodhoof, who is also part of the Horde Council. I'm almost out of my La Croix. Yeah, the Forsaken didn't choose to be undead, but since they are, they might as well commit a few war crimes, right? What are the other races gonna do? Kill them? That's so fucked up. That's so messed up. Guys, that's lore for later. That's lore for later. For now, no one needs to know. No one needs to know yet. Oof. Oof. But anyway, the leader of the Torn is High Chieftain Bane Bloodhoof. High Chieftain Bane Bloodhoof is a warrior without equal, a veteran of many wars. Bane's leadership brings inner peace to otherwise tumultuous horde, and as such, he's earned the respect of his fellow horde leaders and of Molgor's courageous Tauren. That's for later. Spoilers. Trolls! Everybody loved the trolls. So, we'll get into this later as well. Not in this stream, but to later. So, you see, you noticed how the Night Elves had really long ears where they could hear everything? I'll keep the peanut gallery to me. No, you're fine. It's funny. Notice the similar long ears. I wonder what that could mean. The proud Darkspear exiles were once on the brink of extinction. When the war chief Thrall and his mighty horde forces were driven to the trolls' remote island home during a violent storm, the trolls were welcomed into the horde and found their place among other outcast races. Come on, there's more to the trolls than that. Anyway, home city is their Darkspear Isle, and the racial mount is raptors. They got dinosaurs, guys. They got dinosaurs. They can also be druids. And I'm pretty sure you can turn into a raptor. I'm pretty sure you can get a rune, or you just get to turn into a raptor. I forget, as their travel mount. It's very, very cool. Their leader is Chieftain Rokan. For years, the Darkspear trolls relied on the leadership of the wise Vol'jin. His tragic death at the Battle of the Broken Shore shook Darkspear society to its core. The veteran shadow hunter Rokan has stepped forward to lead the Darkspear into a new future and represents the tribe on the Horde Council. The trolls are very cool. And then we got more elves. I love them. This is my other favorite. I love playing elves. I just really like elves. I'm very biased. Look how they're elves, but they're night elves, but sexy. Not to say the night elves aren't sexy, but you know. Anyway. Anyway, and don't worry, you don't have to be white. Thank goodness. I'm so glad they finally added more skin tones because like what the hell? You can be a very, very, very cool blood elf. I had a brain fart. Okay. The blood elves. For thousands of years, the high elves of Quel'Thalas drew strength from the Sunwell, a magical font of arcane energies. So you know how I said the night elves were very well versed in nature magic and arcane? Well, a lot of them who were very into the arcane maybe took it a little bit too far. Maybe one of the leaders took it a little bit too far, and I wonder where the blood elves were from. 90% of the horde are belfs, let's be honest. It's because they're hot. It's because they're hot. But anyway, for thousands of years, the high elves of Quel'Thalas drew strength from the Sunwell, a magical font of arcane energies. An invasion by the undead scourge decimated the kingdom's population, deprived them of the Sunwell's might. Taking the name Blood Elves, or Sin'dorei, all the elves end in like a Dorai kind of thing. So our night elves are Kaldorei, the void elves are Ren'dorei, and the blood elves are Sin'dorei, and there's one more set of elves we will get to. Also, the demon hunters, they don't have the Dorai, but they are Illidari because they follow Lord Illidan, who was once a blood elf, but then became kind of demony. And that's for another time as well. So much lore. There's too much lore to pack into everything. Taking the name Blood Elves or Sin'dorei in their own tongue, the people of Quel'Thalas sated their magical thirst for a time with demonic fell energies. Once the Sunwell was restored, the Blood Elves worked to rebuild their homeland and help lead the Horde into a bold future. So they're very arcane based. but they also, you know, they dabbled in a little bit of that green, the Nickelodeon slime, a little bit of that green juice. And then we got the goblins, so the counterpart to the gnomes on the horde side. The goblins' craftiness and greed makes them masters of mercantilism. Reforging old pacts with their one-time allies, the goblins of the Bilgewater cartel have been welcomed into the horde. Honing their inherent cunning to a razor's edge, the goblins hope to use their explosive inventions to rule the world, or at least own a very profitable percentage of it. So they're also very crafty little guys, and they're very funny. I love them. I loved playing in not Undercity, the new Goblin area. But anyway, their home city is Bilgewater Harbor. They ride a trike. That's their racial mount, and their leader is Trade Prince Gazlo. We love Gazlo. If you guys have seen my previous streams playing in that area, Undermine, thank you. Playing in Undermine, you'll come to love Gazlo just as I love Gazlo. After the abrupt departure of the Trade Prince Gallywix at the conclusion of the Fourth War, the goblins of the Bilgewater cartel were left temporarily leaderless. Now, Trade Prince Gazlo leads the goblins with his clever wits, representing them on the Horde Council. He's a great guy. That's a great guy right there. Fantastic guy. And he's Union. Can you believe it? Gazlo is one of the OGs of the founding of Durotar. Yeah, he was there for that. We love the goblins. All right, so now on to the quote-unquote neutral races. They don't remain neutral. You have to pick a side in this game, and so you can become a Pandaren, and then you have to choose whether or not you join the Horde Alliance. This is probably the blurb for the Horde. I hope it's the same the same on both, but we'll have to check. Couched in myth and legend, the enigmatic Pandaren have long been a mystery to the other races of Azeroth. Pandaren, who follow the path of Huojin, believe that in the pursuit of greater good, inaction is the only wrong. Huojin believe that morals and ideals are not absolute, but change with circumstance. As such, they are naturally drawn to the pragmatic horde. Oh, wait, okay, so we'll have to check the other Pandaren, the Alliance Pandaren. So their home continent is Pandaria, and the racial mount is a dragon turtle. And their leader of the Horde side of the Pandaren. If I remember correctly, the engineering profession had two specializations you could pick from: Gnomish with more mechanical focus, and Goblin with more focus on bombs and whatnot. Yeah. Exactly. So they're both little crafty guys, but one is more fiery. All right. So leader, G Firepaw, outgoing, passionate, and not one for deep thought. Wait, what the hell? G Firepaw is always the first into the fray. He's adamant that the inaction is the greatest injustice and that it is always honorable to defend home and family no matter the price. Let's look at the other Pandaren. We'll go to a new tab. So, couched in myth and legend, the Pandaren have been a mystery to Azeroth. Let's see. Pandaren who follow the path of Tushi, believe that there is a moral certainty to the world, one correct path of right and wrong. This philosophy strongly aligns with the ideals of the Alliance. Oh, I see. So I've never played a Pandaren, so I didn't know exactly how you choose your path. As such, the Tushi have pledged their loyalty accordingly. So they've become a part of the Alliance. And their leader on that side is Ayasa Cloudsinger. Graceful and poised, Ayasa has attained impeccable form and refined intellect through diligent practice of the Tushi philosophy. To Ayasa, to follow the way of the Tushi is to defend what is right above all else. She believes that success in any endeavor never justifies dishonorable deeds. And so it goes. All right, let's take a look at the Alliance Drakthir. So the Drakthir. So you know how there's werewolves. Imagine werewolves, but dragon. Created by Neltharion and the Earth Warder, the essence of the dragons was combined with the adaptability of mortal races to create an elite soldier capable of switching from a draconic form to a humanoid form. Long in a magical stasis, they are now awakened to a new threat within the Dragon Isles. It is the Forbidden Reach, in the Forbidden Reach, that the Drakthir will start their journey and reclaim their fractured memories and face a new reality. And so, they don't really have like a thing to say to what happens when you choose the Horde Alliance. But anyway, their home continent is the Dragon Isles. Their racial mount is the Vorkin, essentially a dragon horse. It's really cool. I really like it. G and I also got a thing going on too. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. You get your visage, and so you get just like the Worgen, you can take a human form, make it all sexy and dragony and shit. And then their leader is Scale Commander Azurathel. The leader of the Obsidian Warders believes that given time, the Alliance can be molded into a more unified and dignified fighting force. Scale Commander Azurathel, he's blue. You notice he's blue. We got the color combos down. So Alliance, blue, Horde, red. Discipline above all, and the Alliance has both in spades. So let's take a look at the Horde Drakthir really quick. And then I think that's all the races. Did we get through all of them? The Horde Drakthir. Oh no, we didn't get to the Volpira and the Zandal. Okay, we gotta hold on. We gotta hit up the allied races. I forgot the allied races of the Horde. Shoot. Sorry guys. This section is gonna be a little bit longer. Okay, so their leader for the Horde Drakthir, Scale Commander Cinderthresh, a red dragon. While the leader of the Dark Talon sees the Horde as little more than a collection of undisciplined misfits and outcasts, Scale Commander Cinderthresh can't help but admire their honor and desire to be better people, gladly fighting alongside them. So that's the Drakthir. Let's check out the allied races. Oh, the Earthen too. Okay, sorry. We got. I told you we're gonna dive deep into some of these things, so bear with me. All right, one of my other favorite races. Yes, there's still elves. I love the elves so much. Probably my absolute favorite next to the night elves is the Nightborn. It's essentially the Horde side night elves. I love them to bits so much. Look at their insignia. It's so cool. Isolated behind a protective barrier for 10,000 years, the elves of Suramar grew increasingly dependent on the arcane magic of the Nightwell. So they are arcane based. Nightborn, let's go. I love Suramar. I love Suramar so much. I can play it over and over again and never get tired of it. To protect the font of power, the leaders of the Nightborn struck a bargain with the Burning Legion that plunged their kingdom into a civil war. After fighting for freedom from the demonic masters, the Nightborn seek allies in the Horde to help reclaim their place in the world. So we see the stars once more. Orgrimmar Embassy, but their home base is Suramar. They live in Suramar. Their racial mount is a Nightborn Mana Saber, and they're very, very cool. They should have a leader. It should say their leader is Thalyssra. First Arcanist Thalyssra is the new leader of the Nightborn. They are my favorite. Hi, Sev. My absolute favorite. Okay. High Mountain Tauren are essentially, we'll start going a little bit faster. The High Mountain Tauren are also very cool, but they are essentially just Tauren from the High Mountain. Oh, I missed it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best. I need to practice that more. Anyway, their racial mount is a Thunderhoof. It's a big moose. Big moose. And I forget the name. What's the name of their leader? Maybe we'll say here, descended from Huln, the brave hero of the War of the Ancient, the High Mountain Tauren honor the spirits of the earth, river, and sky. Though the Legion invaded their lands and sowed seeds of distrust between them, the tribes of the High Mountain stand united once more. At long last, they are ready to venture beyond the sacred mountain and stand beside their kin from Kalimdor, lending their nobility and strength to the mighty Horde. And then we got... I missed one of the Alliance. I don't know which one. Oh, Koltirian Human. We're hopping back and forth. Back onto the Alliance side. So just like the Tauren are from a specific... the High Mountain... Mela, thank you. Mela... Chief Mela is the leader of the High Mountain Tauren. Just like the Tauren from High Mountain are just Tauren from High Mountain, we got the humans who are from the island of Koltiris. So the Koltirian humans. Very naval-based. Obviously, you can very much see the boat themes. They're water, ocean folk, seafaring folk. And they're druid. They get to be druids, and their druidic powers are actually like really kind of neat. It's very what's its style? It's very cool. Bane and Mela also have a thing. They sure do. They got a thing going on. Also, so does Thalysra of the Nightborn with Lorthamar. There's his name. Lorthamar Tharon of the Sindorai. But anyway, Kultirian human. Kultiris was founded by a fearless explorer who sailed uncharted waters in search of adventure. As a key member of the alliance of Lordaeron, the Kultirian navy dominated the seas of Azeroth as with its legendary fleet. But after years of turmoil and hardship, the kingdom grew isolated and vulnerable to dark influences. Thanks to the help of brave heroes, House Proudmoore has been restored, and Kultiris is poised to fight alongside the valiant alliance once more. So Kultirian humans. And then we got the Magar orcs. As I told you before, notice how they are not green. Untold generations orc clans of Draenor battled one another in endless war, but then when Gul'dan offered them the blood of his demonic masters, desperate tribes of the Magar orcish word for uncorrupted refused the dark bargain and banded together to drive out the Burning Legion. In the aftermath of the fall of Hellfire Citadel, Magar pledged to one day repay Azeroth's heroes for aiding their cause. As its war against the Alliance intensifies, the Hordes must call upon the might of the Magar to seize victory. They also came out in battle for Azeroth. And then we got the Zandalari trolls. They also came out in battle for Azeroth. These are the trolls of Zandalar. Lothamar is the luckiest of ducks with Dali. That's what I'm saying. I love her. We just read Blood Ties in the book club. We finished it, and oh my gosh, we got to see some snippets of Thalysra in the book and see kind of her personality a little bit more than just, first Arcanist. I love her down so bad. The Zandalari are proud people whose origins date back to the early days of Azeroth's history. Their fierce warriors ride dinosaurs, more dinosaurs, guys, into battle, and they possess one of the most formidable naval fleets in the known world. But enemy attacks on their borders, as well as unrest within the King's Council, have threatened the kingdom's foundations. By returning stability to Zandalar, the heroes of the Horde can gain a powerful ally. They're also very cool. All of them are very cool. And then the Volpera, and then we'll have one more. Oh, wait. Well, okay, Mechanomes. I'm sorry, Mechanomes. I'm sorry, Mechanome lovers. I'm going to skip them. I don't hate me. It's literally just gnomes, but robots. But half robot. They're cyborg. They're cyborg gnomes. Forgive me. Forgive me. But the Volpera need the spotlight. Look at the fox people. Look at them. All three. I know a good amount of people. They play Volpera. Look at them. They're so fun. Clever and resourceful, the Volpera survived amidst the harsh desert of Vol'dun for generations. Traveling in close-knit caravans, they watch out for each other as they scavenge supplies from across the dunes. Despite their small stature, they are fierce, cunning in battle, bringing down any enemy foolish enough to underestimate them. Now full-fledged members of the Horde, their wagons have left the sand in search of adventure. Look at them. Look at them. They ride a hyena. I don't know if they have a leader. I haven't played enough of the Volpera to know. And then we got the Mechanomes. They're Mechanomes. They're Mechanomes. And then the Earthen. The Earthen are very important and key to a lot of lore too. Dolly and Dot, my best friends. The Earthen are a Titanforge race. So you know how they look like dwarves, and the dwarves mention them. There's a reason. The Earthen are Titanforge race made of living stone, imbued with the essence of Azeroth's soul. The ancient denizens are freshly freed from the edicts that have bound them, and now venture forth with limitless curiosity to ally with the Alliance and the Horde and explore the world. Kiro is the leader, the Volpera. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up more into the Volpera. I really didn't know much. I really didn't know much about them, but they're very cute. I very much would like to play one. All right, we are going on an ad break in 25 seconds. I will take that ad break because I do need another La Croix, some more Wawa, and maybe a little bit of a snack. So I will see you guys in 3 minutes. Take that time to stretch your legs, get some water too, grab a snack if you need to, and we'll be right back. We are done with going through all of the races you can play as. We'll be moving on to the next part. On to the next. So see you in a bit. We are so back. We are so back. Okay. Hope you're able to get some water and rehydrate. Sorry, I have a piece of bread in my mouth. Okay. So those, if you remembered any of that, I hope you did. It'll be on the test. I'm just kidding. But those are the races you can play as on Azeroth. So let us go back into my little presentation. Okay. Those are the races and classes you can play as. And so let's move a little bit forward. We could dive into the classes a little bit. I will open up the thing to look at it. You know what? Why not? We're here. It'll be quick. So, as I said before, you could play as a warrior, hunter, mage, rogue, priest, warlock, paladin, druid, shaman, monk, demon hunter, death knight, and evoker. And if this will open back up again. Okay. The death knight. So death knights are engage their foes with engage their foes up close, supplanting swings of their weapons with dark magic that renders enemies vulnerable. Damages them with unholy power. I guess we don't have to dive too deep into them. Let's see if it'll give it any like lore stuff. But Death Knight, essentially death paladin. They're paladins, but death. Demon hunters, they hunt demons. They fight with glaives. They're very, very cool. They have some really cool class abilities like jumping around. They get little demon wings. They're infused with demonic power, and they use that kind of like the Void Elves do to control it. They control demon power to kind of use it to fight demons and hunt their prey. The druids are druidic magic, nature magic. Please get away from me, ads. I don't know if I shouldn't. Sometimes they put, you know how they put like the little X there that you think you can click, but then you click on it and it actually opens up the ad, or opens up more ads, and you're just like, well, now I'm in ad hell, and now I'm going to get a virus on my computer. Druids are nature magic. There's different subclasses of all of these. We won't get into them right now. But they're very cool, very, very full of nature. You can transform into different animal forms, and those come with different abilities for each. The Evokers are the newest class. They were created by Natharian and asleep for millennia. It's Drakthir only. They wear mail, and they essentially cast dragon magic. They use their dragon physiology and combine with the power of the 5 dragon fights to unleash devastating attacks from distance or heal. Hey, thank you for the stream streak. Thank you for the 5 stream streak. Thank you, Mochi. Also, hope you're having a good lurk. There's the hunter, and you have the subclasses of the hunter kind of come into play to describe it. You can hunt with either pets at your side. You can hunt, I think, with like an individual beast. I forget which one. There's beast mastery, marksmanship. Oh no, wait. It's either marksmanship or survival. Marksmanship, you shoot with an arrow or a gun. Pew pew. You're a hunter. And then survival hunter, where you fight with like one singular companion, I'm pretty sure. Wow, we lore maxing. We're lore maxing right now. Hi, someone. Hello. I'm gonna take another bite of my bread while you pull your gotcha. Well, welcome him. And then you got mage. So with mages, you actually have 3 areas of magic that you can focus in. It's you can focus in on fire or ice or arcane. Covers all 3. You got the monk. I actually don't know too much about the monk, but melee essentially. You're probably gonna fight. Does it say you fight up close? It was brought in with Mr. Pandaria because Pandaren are gonna be monks, I guess, because Blizzard really wanted to do that stereotype. I don't know, it was weird, but anyway. You have different ones. You could do more DPS, or you could, I forget they have the healing classes too, but I won't dive too much into that because I don't know too much about it. Paladins, wielders of the light, essentially. And you have holy, protection, and retribution, and so you could be one of those holy light paladins. You can heal up, or you can protect, be a tank, or you can take retribution out on your foes and DPS, and that one is the most brain dead and most fun. I won't lie. I love me a Ret Pally. I was not immune. Priest, healer, essentially, but you can also be DPS because there's a Shadow Priest. You can be a Shadow Priest, but mostly Priest dabble in both light and shadow, depending on the priest. So you have Holy Priest, only light. Disciplined Priest does a little bit of both. As Priest main, let's go, let's go, let's go. And a Shadow Priest where they dabble only in shadow. And they kick your butt with shadow. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Then you have a Rogue. I know nothing about rogues because I've never played a rogue. But sneaky little guys. It says what it says on the tin. Then you have Shaman. I don't know why they didn't put... They should have put Orc here. I'm kind of mad that they have a Draenai. Because orcs were originally shamanic. But shaman, they controlled the elements. And so that's how you fight and stuff. Is elemental magic. And then you have warlocks who summon demons. Warlocks are just as you expect. They summon demons and have demons fight for them. You can also do affliction and destruction, but they're mainly known for working with demon magic in that kind of way. In the face of demonic power, most heroes see death. Warlocks only see opportunity. Dominance is their aim, and they found a path into the dark arts. The dark arts. And then you have the warrior. Very standard, very, they're a warrior. They fight with sword and axe and shield and go pow, pow. Pow, 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 pow. Arms warrior, fury warrior, and protection warrior. I've also never played a warrior. But those are classes. Those are the classes, and let's move on. So, talk about the world a little bit. The world of Warcraft, as you will. Excuse me. I needed a little bit more sugar in my blood, so I needed to eat some bread. So the world of Warcraft, where does all this take place? You are heroes of Azeroth, so therefore we are on Azeroth. There are lots of locations to play in World of Warcraft, but the main location of the game and the center of the primary lore, or the world-based lore, is the planet Azeroth. The Horde capital is in Kalimdor, and the Alliance capital is in the Eastern Kingdom. We got the capital of Orgrimmar and Kalimdor and Stormwind in the Eastern Kingdom. This is the current up-to-date. If you were to play The War Within, which was the most recent previous expansion pack, the newest one coming out is Midnight, so this probably will look pretty similar. I don't think we're actually going to change maps unless there's some new areas that we don't know yet about. They will add it to this map, but this is what modern WoW looks, or modern Azeroth looks like. Excuse me. Once upon a time, it did look very different from this. But we're not getting into that yet, of course. So this is where you'll be playing. So if I go, well, I won't click on that yet because we got some other things to cover first. So next, at long last, it's been an hour 40 minutes. I was afraid I was going to be under time. I was so wrong. Now, we get to the real lore. We get to the actual, real lore. Not just IRL, what is the game lore. We're getting to the real lore. Guys, are you ready? Are you ready? Grab your seats if you haven't already. So, this is where I'm going to have to figure out where the heck I'm going to stand. I'm going to go kitty corner right here again for now. But I'm also going to be in the way if I do this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Hi, Hamudi, by the way. Okay, so to start things off, we have to cover this. It's very, very important, very, very key that we cover this because everything in the universe lore is influenced by the great forces of power that happen. The cosmic power, the cosmic forces. They're very, very important. So we got the forces of power and the Great Dark Beyond. So the Great Dark Beyond is pretty much just space. It's just outer space, but in World of Warcraft world. So let's get into the powers. Cosmic forces. The cosmic forces. So I don't know where to stand. I knew this would happen. Let me, what if I become, here, yeah, there we go. I'm tiny strap today. So we got, maybe I'll use myself as a pointer. Maybe that's the play. God damn, I'm so tall. I need to not be so tall. All right, we're standing right here. So there are 6 cosmic forces. They're all very important, very fundamental. Google, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Extremely important. The first 2 are pretty much the most important, but all the other ones are also very important as well. Mel's Bells, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. If you're from Mackie's book club, hi, my book club folk. Hi. Illy, I love you. Good to see you. I can't wait. I'm so sad I missed the field trip. Anyway, continuing on. Light and shadow are the big 2 fundamental cosmic forces. Before there was anything in the universe at all, in the World of Warcraft universe, there was light and then there was shadow. So those are the 2 big fundamentals. The other fundamentals, life and death, and the last 2, order and disorder. Each of them opposing one another, each of them opposites of one another, but each cannot exist without the other. Light can't exist without shadow, shadow can't exist without light, life can't exist without death, and order can't exist without disorder, yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. Big important beans. Big important beans. Now, you see that this, I can't, here, all right, I'm a pointer today. I'm the pointer. So you see, you see, we got the light up here, we got life, disorder, death, order, shadow. It's all interconnected like this, right? And then there's more to it. And so how do these powers kind of manifest in the physical and metaphysical universe of World of Warcraft? Using yourself as a cursor is so based and funny. I got nothing else to work with. I got to use something. Thank you. Let's see. So, where these cosmic forces break down into powers. But these are the primordial and fundamental forces of all existence in the WoW universe, each one opposing one another, like I said, and also needing one another, so they can't exist without the other. They're always, and it always has to be in balance, otherwise everything stops working. So each cosmic force, as I said, is the source of its broken down power. And so if we go back. Been playing since right before the Burning Crusade came out, and I'm learning stuff right now. Let's go! That's my goal. That's exactly what I wanted. Yay! So I'm also going to be posting all these slides to the Discord, to my Discord, and I might, if Mackie's cool with it, I might share it in Mackie's Discord as well. But these will be accessible for any of you WoW lore buffs, or anybody who wants to get to become a WoW lore buff. Please enjoy. So each of these powers break down, or each of these cosmic forces break down into powers, and they're essentially kind of elemental powers of cosmic force, blah blah blah. And these are the magic that make up the elemental planes and spirit realms, and then they filter into reality. So a lot of this stuff sits outside of reality. If you zoom in, or if you look real close, the lorest of buffs, exactly. If you look right here, right where my whole gaze pointing into it, reality. Right in the middle of all this goodness gracious, there's reality. All of this sits outside, slightly outside of reality. Reality is where Azeroth and other planets exist. That's also where the Great Dark Beyond is. All of these powers, elemental and whatnot, seep into reality in that way. So as to what these powers are and what forces they hail from, we got light, manifests as holy magic. We got shadow, manifesting as shadow magic and void magic. We got, I'm gonna start laughing at myself being a pointer, but it's the best I can do. Life manifests itself as nature magic, spirit magic, kind of, blah, blah, blah. Death as necromancy, decay, and order as arcane magic, and disorder as fell magic. What the heck are these? So to give you a clearer picture how these magics would be used by mortals in the reality realm, in the realm of reality. Holy magic, very much used by paladins, priests, healing, light, shiny, gold most of the time. Shadow being wielded by shadow priests, void elves. Now we finally got a demon hunter void elf kind of, or void demon hunter situation. So they're wielding void energies. It's void magic. Very purple, very cool, very cosmic looking. It's very fun. Life magic, or nature magic, excuse me. Druidic, imagine, you know, nature magic. It's nature. You become nature. You throw the leaves at them and then they heal. That kind of thing. Necromancy, obviously death, decay. Necromancy, you're going to see with Death Knights, you're going to see with the Lich King, you know, raised undead, that kind of thing. Order, arcane magic, think mage, doing arcane magic. And then Fel. So Fel, I'll explain a little bit more. So you see Fel, quiet, right? Let me point to my ahoge. Fel falls right under disorder. And then there's the Burning Legion. We're going to get into that. That's going to be pretty much the primary. That's going to be like what the rest of the stream is about, is focusing toward the Burning Legion. But anyway, Fel is essentially, you can consider it hell. Consider it like just chaotic forces. All chaos, all disorder, very green in this universe. It's very, very Nickelodeon slime coated. So if you see green, you know it's Fel. It's not always healy dealy. It's probably Fel. It's a very, very specific green. And you're going to see it used by demon hunters, and it's essentially demon magic. You see used by demons. That's what Fel is. Okay, so those are the powers that fall under each of the cosmic forces. And so what else is left? We got water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the nations lived in harmony until the Fire Nation attacked. That's the wrong one. But anyway, we got water, earth, fire, and air. These are purely elemental planes because there exist other planes. Like I said, reality sits in the middle of everything. And there's stuff outside of reality. And these are outside of, are they outside of reality? They're in the physical universe, but they're not quite in reality. So it's a different plane. That's why they're planes. They're different planes. So there is the fire plane. I think there should be water, air, earth plane, but I could be wrong. There's not really a specific decay and spirit plane, but the spirit planes themselves are metaphysical. And this is where spirits of mortals go. The last Titan bender. Yeah. So this is where spirits can go and traverse to. So primarily when mortals die, most of them, if not all, their spirits will go to a place called the Shadowlands. And notice that the Shadowlands, where's me, falls right between decay and, or right next to decay and undead. I don't know if you can see it very well, but that's Shadowlands right there. And there's a reason for that. It's because it's related to death. That's where people go when they die. It's not full of decay. There's also different parts to the Shadowlands. There's different sections that souls will go to, and that's covered in the expansion Shadowlands. So I'll save a bit of the app for that. But just know that's kind of where most mortal spirits go when they die. That's where their spirit goes to. The Emerald Dream, on the other hand, is the other spirit plane. And you'll notice that is right next to it says Wild Gods, Nature, and then there's Emerald Dream and Spirit. So the reason for that is Emerald Dream is kind of life-based, which is interesting, but it's also a spiritual plane. It's another metaphysical plane. And in the World of Warcraft lore, druids access this plane. This is where the wild gods live. Druids can access this plane by having a big honk shoe. They take a big sleep and they can dream themselves into the Emerald Dream. And the Emerald Dream is actually, I forget if it's I forget if it was a construction specifically of Azeroth itself, but it came to be. It's a part of the plains. It's a big place, a big important place. Maybe not. It could be just as important as Shadowlands, but just know it's another metaphysical plane of outside of reality. And in between all this planes and all this goodness, there's the in-between called the Twisting Nether. And the Twisting Nether is kind of like, you can kind of imagine it like, essentially, yeah, it's just the in-between. It's the place where like, it's kind of just mostly chaos. It's more on disorder side, but it's like, it's not quite in the realm of disorder or Fel. It's different, but demons do come from it. That's where demons are born, is the Twisting Nether. It's kind of this area of nothingness. It's like dark matter. Imagine it kind of like dark matter. That's how I kind of imagine it. And then there's the Great Dark Beyond, which is not in between. I just didn't have anywhere else to put it. Great Dark Beyond is actually, in reality, it's just space. It's just outer space. So it's the outer space that holds all the planets, including Azeroth. Hi, Wave. So those are the planes. Those are the elements, the elemental planes. Next, my sideshow don't want to work. Here we go. I have to take a breath. I'm running out of air. So, you know, we have all these powers and all these cosmic forces, but what are the beings? The beings in them. There's beings under each of these cosmic forces and that are kind of ruled and born of these cosmic forces and cosmic powers. And so for each, there's quite a few for each, or not quite a few for each, but there's at least one for each. We'll start with the light because that was what was there first. The light creatures that are primordial. They're extremely old, very, very old. And I will click on. I have links here that that's gonna deep dive a little bit on the Naru and the other ones here. The Naru are light beings of pure light. They are born of the light. That's them. That's them. Under Shadow, we have the Void Lords. They are void beings. They are also just as primordial as the Naru. And just as power. Well, I actually wonder if Naru are a little bit less powerful than the Void Lords, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Void Lords, I have to specify, are different from the Void Gods. Void Gods are creations of the Void Lords themselves. So those aren't actually born directly of the Void. They're more indirectly. They're like the grandchild of the Void, if you will. So you have the Void, and then you have the Void Lords from the Void, and then you have Void Gods. Okay, from the aspect of life, you have the wild gods, which are very spiritual in nature, and they're both spirit and nature. So they're essentially big animals, spirits, kinds of things. We'll click on that link in just a moment. Then under death, we have the undead, but undead is more of a category than like a big, powerful being. I think liches would fall under the undead powerful beings, but I don't know how, like that's only applicable to Azeroth's history in specific. This is like, we're talking the whole universe. So out of, or maybe there might be more at play in the Shadowlands, but we'll continue. And then under order, there is very, very big, important beings. The very big beings. You see them. I'm not pointing at them. You see them right here. They're big and blue. Order, under order is the Titans. And we'll get into what the Titans are as well. And then under disorder is the demons. And the demons are spawned in the twisting nether, as I described earlier. So let's click on these links and dive a little bit deeper into each. Let's dive a bit deep into each. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I gotta get my tabs sorted. I don't know why I keep breaking into an accent, but it makes me feel better. All right, so the Naru. Yes, I know I'm using an ad blocker. I'm sorry. I'm living my life. Am I not allowed to live my life in peace? Without ads, without El Capitalismo in my face at all moments in my time here on Earth. Okay, so the Naru. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the Naru. Straight off a wowpedia, and then a sound. At first it was merely a vibration in the night, yet even the slight disturbance of the air was pure and strong and clean. A glow began. And then several. The vibration became many, all different tones, and the sights and sounds coalesced into an ascending tide of rainbow and melody. Beings of light surrounded Anduin, rescuing him from the dark and singing to him of hope in a chorus that restored the universe. In the midst of it all, the face of one of the refugees appeared, a man the prince had seen many times, but whose name he did not know. The beings around Anduin sang, "Each life, a universe," the prophet's lesson. I don't know what book that's from. That's got to be from one of the books. But anyway, so the Naru, it's pronounced Naru, is a race of living sentient energy beings made up of scintillating holy energies. They are perhaps the purest expression of holy light that exists in the great dark beyond, and have vowed to bring peace and hope to all mortal civilizations and waylay the forces of the void. They are known to travel through dimensions and are the sworn enemies of the Burning Legion. Not all Naros necessarily have the same motives. They all have their own personalities and goals, and each of them have their own names. One is named Zira, who is notably different from other Naru the players have met, being the best example of this. As such, not all Naru are essentially good from the player's perspective. For a while, Zira believed that she was indeed doing good. It was not good for everybody. So it's kind of interesting because a lot of the time, light and shadow are juxtaposed as good and evil. Takes notes. Yeah. Yay! The test will be later tonight. I'm just kidding. But I might write up a test because it'd be really fun. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Usually the juxtaposition of good and bad is usually posed as light and good. But the light can actually also be a little bit evil, a little bit of lawful evil in there, so keep that in mind. Because these powers exist doesn't necessarily mean one is good or bad completely. They're both capable of bad, we'll say. Origin, following the birth of the universe, we'll get into that. The Naru were kind of just emerged. They formed clouds of light, which powerful beings emerged, among which were the benevolent Naru. When the Naru gazed out across the universe, they saw limitless possibilities and vowed to use their mastery over holy magic to nurture life and hope throughout the cosmos. So they're very aligned with order and life. They're aligned with those other two powers. Oh, wow. Okay, this is saying they're less powerful than the Titans. Greatly resemble those of the moon goddess Saloon. Yeah, I kind of wonder. Anyway, okay. The light can blind. Exactly. The light can be blinding. The light doesn't always necessarily mean good. All right, so let's jump over to the Void Lords before we get too lost in the sauce over here, which is so easy. I can spend days reading the wowpedia pages themselves. And when I share the slides, it should maintain the links, so you should be able to see them too. Yes, I know. I'm using Adblocker. I know. All right. So Void Lords, opposite of the Naru, Void Lords are sometimes capitalized as Void Lords, are monstrous entities. See what I mean with it? Usually it's juxtaposed as the shadow is evil. Monstrous entities opposed to pure shadow energy who rule over the void outside of the borders of reality. So they're not within reality. Meanwhile, the Naru are. They do exist within the universe, the physical universe, and can manifest in the physical universe. The Void Lords, on the other hand, cannot. They don't exist in reality. They sit outside of it. Merciless and vicious and cruel beyond imagination, they seek to only twist reality into a realm of eternal torment and ultimately devour all matter and energy in the universe itself. However, only the most powerful of the Void Lords can actually manifest in the physical universe, weakened, and only for limited amounts of time, where their energies quickly seep into nothingness. They must therefore consume untold amounts of matter and energy to maintain their presence. So they can't stay there forever. They gotta get gone. They gotta get gone. All right, let's take a look at the Wild Gods next. My computer is like, why so many tabs? Here, I'm gonna close some of the other tabs really quick. It's just like, please, I can't breathe. There's so many. I'm spinning my wheels, man. Let's close all these tabs. Usually the wowpedia tabs don't eat up too much memory, but Wowhead does. Do I have Wowhead open somewhere? I sure do. Let's close you, Wowhead. Wowhead, for whatever reason, eats up so much memory. There's some really bad memory leaks. All right. Wild Gods. Let's get to the Wild Gods. I think Warcraft wiki is more up to date than Wowpedia. Oh, maybe you're right. I do have links to both on some of these, but I'll have to double check. But let's take a look at the Wild Gods. Here we go. From the dawn of its reshaping by the mysterious Titans, Azeroth had been guarded by beings who were tied to the world as no other creatures could be. The dragons had been empowered by the Titans, but Azeroth itself gave rise to spirits and demigods. So the Wild Gods are primal manifestations of life and nature. So definitely nature powered. Definitely life and nature conjoined power. They are found on Azeroth, and they are also found on other planets. Many of them appear in the form of a gargantuan animals, such as wolves, bears, tigers, or birds. The wild gods of Azeroth are creatures of two realms, for while they inhabit the physical world, their spirits are bound to the ethereal Emerald Dream. When the wild gods die, they go to Ardenweald. So Ardenweald is a specific portion of the Shadowlands. Remember when I said when mortals die, their spirit goes to the Shadowlands. There's different sections of the Shadowlands, and Ardenweald is one of them. And Ardenweald is actually kind of a mirror image of the Emerald Dream in some ways or another, which we have yet to learn more about. We need to go back to that. I'm very excited for a Shadowlands remix and an expansion, not in maybe an expansion, but something expounding on that lore a little bit more. But anyway. So when they die, they go to Ardenweald and they enter a wild seed to be taken care of the keepers of the groves. And so they go into a little seed and their soul goes into like a stasis. And they're nurtured until they are reborn in the Grove of Awakening. No matter their moral alignment in life, in death, all are protected under the Winter Queen, which is the leader essentially of Ardenweald. Ancient Guardian, Loa, and August Celestial are interchangeable when referring to these great spirits aligned with nature and destined to Ardenweald. So that's wild gods. I don't have a link for death and decay, which would probably be like Lich. Like I said, it would probably be like undead and Lich coded, but that's more of a category than a being. I mean, the Lich is kind of like a powerful being, but please, there we go. Now the Titans, we'll be referring to this one a lot. Titans, very, very important, very big in the lore of Azeroth, extremely importante. So, attention to this. So, the Titans are a race of colossal planet-sized cosmic beings composed of arcane magic. And they are the primordial matter from which the universe was born. They roamed across the cosmos like walking worlds imbued with the raw power of creation itself. And the Titans use this incredible force to find and awaken others of their kind. That's all I'm going to read of that. Because I have a lot more to dive into that. Let's go to the next. For disorder, we have the demons. The demons are also important. They will come into play. They will come into play very soon here. Just keep your eyes on the prize. All right. Not to be confused with daemon. Why not, actually? I don't know. I don't know why it says that. But anyway, demons are twisted souls, are immortal beings linked to the twisting nether. So, like I said, they're born in the twisting nether. As opposed to races of the great dark beyond, like humans, or other mortal beings. Demons is fundamentally a creature whose soul is bound to the twisting nether and returns to that plane upon death. They can be only truly killed inside the twisting nether. And most demons were actually once mortal. They were once mortal creatures who have been turned into demons. But that comes into play later. A lot of them were, but not all of them are. All the original demons were all kind of born in the twisting nether. Not all demons are sentient. Various animals have been transformed into demons, for instance, and some are started as constructs, such as infernals. Though most demons have a deep connection to fell magic. Not all of them use it. As such, the demons that joined Illidan Stormrage. That's more. We're getting spoilers here. And who fed upon his arcane source of energy instead. Anything else important here? No, not yet. We'll get to those. So those are the beings that fall under these categories of these powers. Let me switch back to this one. Let me sit down. Let me shrink up. Oh, can I go? There we go. Can we go full screen again? There we go. Okay. So these are the kind of beings that fall under each of these cosmic powers, essentially, and are born of these. Yes, I know these are the links. So from there, we're going to go into the very, very, very beginning of the timeline with all that knowledge of the void, the light, the shadow, order, disorder, life, and death, and the creatures that have come of it, we're going to go dive into how that all came to be and how it all became the universe. So sit tight. I'm gonna take a bite of my bread. Okay. Chew faster, strawberry. Hold on. I'm gonna take a drink of my water too. Okay. So this is an excerpt from the Warcraft Chronicles. I will be reading a lot from I will be reading a lot of excerpts from the World of Warcraft Chronicles because it is so juicy good. It is jam-packed with lots and lots of lore. So I'll be pulling from, or I did pull a lot from it. So this is an excerpt. Before life began, before even the cosmos took shape, there was light, and there was void. Unfettered by the confines of time and space, the light swelled across all existence in the form of a boundless prismatic sea. Great torrents of living energy flitted through its mirrored depths, their movements conjuring a symphony of joy and hope. The ocean of light was dynamic and ever-shifting. Yet, as it expanded, some of its energies faded and dimmed, leaving behind pockets of cold nothingness. From the absence of light in these spaces, a new power coalesced and came to be. This power was the void, a dark, vampiric force driven to devour all energy, to twist creation inward to feed upon itself. The void quickly grew and spread its influence, moving against the flowing waves of light. The mounting tension between these two opposing yet inseparable energies eventually ignited as a series of catastrophic explosions, rupturing the fabric of creation and birthing a new realm into existence. In that moment, the physical universe was born. The energies released by the clash of light and void raged across the nascent cosmos, raw matter merging and spinning into primordial worlds without number. For long epochs, this ever-expanding universe, the great dark beyond, broiled in a maelstrom of fire and magic. There you go. So the Big Bang in World of Warcraft, they had the Big Bang. From the Big Bang, this is Big Bang, Big Bang, Bang Bang Bang. From the Big Bang came forth many of these creatures, and now we're getting to the Titans. Like I said, they're very important, very, very important. So let's learn about the Titan Pantheon. Did I skip? Wait, hold on. Did I skip? I feel like I skipped. I feel like I missed a slide. I feel like I missed a slide. Well, oh well. I'll have to explain it myself. Off the dome. So you have the Titan Pantheon. Like I said, what are the Titans? The Titans are beings of order and arcane magic. They came after, the Big Bang. And what do they come from? Well, you know how it said that there was a bunch of worlds born after the Big Bang? Well, Titans are actually born of worlds. They are formed in the planets as a world soul, and that's how they come to be. And then they wake up. I don't know. I still am not sure if them waking up destroys the planet. I don't think it does, but every once in a while, I'm really not sure. And so they wake up and they join the cosmos and they walk amongst the cosmos. The first one to wake up was this guy over here, Aman'Thul. I call him the Big Dad Titan. He is the High Father of the Pantheon, and he is the Titan of time and order. He was the first one, supposedly, to wake up from, the Big Bang and from his world soul. He woke up and he was like, hey, I want to find other ones like me. There's gotta be. Otherwise it'd be really freaking lonely out here. And so he started wandering around space and went looking for other world souls, and he found them and he woke them up. He's like, hey, come join me. And so these are the other world souls that he came upon. One of them being Eredar. She is called Eredar. She is essentially Mother Earth moment. She is the life binder, and she, she's aligned to nature, life, and health. That's kind of what she's the god of. Essentially, like, imagine these as like equivalent to or similar to the Greek god pantheon in kind of a way. A lot of similarities pulled from there. And you notice above, I have them all listed as active. This will come into play in the next slide. And then we have Norganon. He is a wizard guy. He is very arcane. The Titans are already very arcane oriented and order oriented, but he is very, very arcane oriented. He is the keeper of celestial magics and lore, and essentially the god of arcane knowledge and secrets. And then we have Golganeth. He is Thor and Poseidon's love child, for real, for real. He is the lord of the skies and roaring seas. And then we have Khazgoroth. He's Hephaestus. He's Hephaestus. Shaper and forger of worlds, craftsman and builder. He's a god of craftsman and building. And then we have Agramar. He is a war god, but he's not the war god, and we'll get into that in just a moment. He is the lieutenant of yet another Titan called the Great Sargeras. So this is currently the active pantheon. Let's go to the next slide. Actually, I'm gonna open that link, but we're gonna continue the slides. We're gonna continue the slides first. All right. So notice how these have different titles at the top. Here are some of the other Titans, question mark. Here's Sargeras. He's going to be like the key player in the rest of the slides I'm going to go through today. He's the actual war god, the god of war. He didn't always look like that. I know he really looked like he really do look like he'd be the god of war. That's legitimately, that's Ares right there. That's our Ares, bro. But he didn't always look like that, actually. He is the Great Sargeras, formerly defender, now destroyer of worlds and lord of the burning legion. That'll come into play in just a moment. Here we have this was a newer one. This was a newer Titan who became corrupted. He's traumatized boy. That's the traumatized god. This is Argus, and he's Argus the Unmaker. He was tortured by Sargeras himself, and he died, and his soul went to the Shadowlands, which is very important down the road. And then we have Azeroth. What the heck is Azeroth doing here? Hey, that's home. Well, at home has a big sleeping world soul inside of it. Whoa. Whoa, big news. Big world soul inside of Azeroth. What's she doing in there? We don't know. We're still trying to figure it out. But she's singing songs to us, and she's trying to speak. And then we have a speaker of Azeroth that she was talking to. So supposedly, this is what the Titans believe is the final Titan. She has many titles. Final Titan, Sleeping Titan, potentially the most powerful Titan there may be when she does awake. So that's remained to be seen. I wonder what's gonna happen in the next expansion packs. I do wonder, actually, though. I'm very curious to see what happens at midnight. What's the last Titan gonna be about? That's crazy. Okay. So next, before we get too far into it, well, actually, let me check out that link. Hold on. Let me check out the link really quick. What does the Titan say? Yeah. Okay, we'll go over the Titans a little bit again. So like I said earlier, the Titans are colossal godlike beings made up of primordial matter from which the universe was born. Imbued with the raw power of creation itself, they roam the cosmos like waking worlds. Like I said, they are born from world souls, spirits who are formed within the fiery cores of a small number of worlds, and who slumber for ages, suffusing the planets that they inhabit with their spirit energy before finally awaking. Described as living worlds, their bodies are covered in mountain peaks, rivers, their forms wrapped in cloaks of stardust, and their eyes shining like brilliant stars. Hey, stardust. Stardust mentioned. Bastions of purity and good, the Titans are unable to conceive of evil or wickedness in any form. Question mark. Question mark. The Titans are heavily tied to the cosmic force known as Arcane, which is the embodiment of order. In fact, Arcane is their very lifeblood. The original well of eternity, which is on Azeroth, we'll get into that later. An enormous volatile lake of arcane energies was literally the very lifeblood of Azeroth's world soul. Despite what is commonly known as Azeroth's history, the Titans were in some way connected to the first ones, same entities that organized and designed the pantheon of death of the Shadowlands. So this is lore that that we haven't fully tapped into the game. We're still kind of not sure what the first ones are. This is the lore as it was presented in the Chronicles, or what I just went over is the lore as it's presented in the Chronicles. And a big thing to note is that the Chronicles are actually from the perspective of the Titans. So whether that plays a lot of bias into a lot of the information in the lore, we have yet to find out. But these are the Titans. They were assumedly the first things, but now there's the first ones, and we still aren't really sure what the first ones are and what all that they're doing, if they're active or what they did. The Titans are connected to the progenitors, otherwise known, and the otherwise known facility is Zereth Ordis, and which was concealed and forbidden by the command of Odin, placing Titans as the absolute pinnacles of their existence in their records, so as to not to confuse mortals. So there's more that we don't know. We're still figuring it out. Okay, on to the next. So we got the awakening of the Titans and the ordering of the universe. So the Titans woke up. Then what? They're like chilling, and they're like, we gotta find more of ourselves, just like Aman'Thul did. We gotta find more of us, and we gotta bring the thing that we're all about into the universe. Order. So let's order the universe up. Let's do this shit. And so, since Aman'Thul was the first Titan to awaken, he searched the great dark beyond for the other nascent Titans slumbering in world souls. He found his kin. He woke them up. Natural. And and then they formed the Pantheon together. So once he found his brothers and sisters, obviously the people that I went through, that is the Pantheon, and they are aligned with order, and they possess a natural affinity to the latent magic of the universe. And now I'm going to read another excerpt from the Chronicles. So the Titans of the Pantheon came to realize that order was crucial to finding others of their kind. On each world they encountered, they employed techniques to ascertain whether or not a world soul was present. So to find whether or not there was a sleeping Titan in there, they would do certain things. Then they would reshape the world, forming great mountains, fathomless seas, roiling skies. Lastly, the Titans would seed a myriad of life forms across the newly ordered world. In doing so, the Pantheon hoped to call forth the world soul and help bring it to maturity. Most of the time, however, the worlds visited by the Titans proved inert. The Pantheon vowed to maintain and protect all of these worlds, even those that did not contain a slumbering spirit. To do so, they empowered primitive life forms to uphold the integrity of their ordered worlds. The Pantheon also embedded colossal machines at the surface of the worlds that they had shaped. Through those devices, the Titans could monitor their worlds and purge them of life, should the evolutionary path succumb to disorder. So, whether or not you think that's good is up to you. I don't think that's good. That's kind of crazy. So while all that was happening, while the Titans were doing that, there was the Void Lords. The Void Lords were still doing stuff. Don't forget them. The Void Lords and the corruption of the universe. So unbeknownst to the Titans, I'm gonna shrink down so I'm not in the way. Unbeknownst to the Titans, malign forces were also hard at work in the distant reaches of the Great Dark. As the Titans continued their search for other world souls and ordering of the world souls they encountered, the Void Lords watched. Jeepers creepers, look at those guys, look at those guys peepers. Jeepers creepers, why you got those peepers? I forget how that song goes. From the moment the cosmos came to be, dark spirits within the void sought to twist reality into a realm of eternal torment. These entities were known as the Void Lords, and they had long watched the Pantheon and their journey from world to world. So the Void Lords were envious of the Titans' power and sought to corrupt them. They wanted to corrupt the Titans if they couldn't shape them to be instruments of the Void's will instead. They attempted to do this by trying to enter the physical universe, but found that they couldn't. Every time they did, they would kind of like dissipate and like entropize, and their entropy essentially, they would self-deflate. They just poof, poof. They couldn't do it. They had to consume vast energies, like we had read before, in order to sustain themselves and their existence in the universe, in the physical universe. Their energies, though, did manage to seep in, which warped some other beings of creation. So it corrupted some other beings of creation, and so kind of messed things up along the way. But the Titans remained immune and uncorrupted by the Void Lords. Faces only a mother could love. Since they were unsuccessful in manifesting in the physical plane, they instead began to create dark creatures. Dark creatures. Sending them out into the universe to do their bidding in their stead. It was an attempt to get ahead of the Titans. You know how the Titans were searching for world souls? Essentially, they were trying to get ahead of them, and they would set out these dark creatures and hope they would collide with a sleeping world soul and corrupt it to their will. These creatures that they sent out were called the Void Gods, or Old Gods. So that comes into play on Azeroth as well. All right. So what happens next? Why did Sargeras look like that? Are we going on an ad break? No, we have 5 minutes until an ad break. So we'll take another ad. We'll take the ad break once it comes up. Why did Sargeras look like that before? Let's get into it. The fall of Sargeras and the rise of the Burning Legion. This is very important. This is very important. Take notes, folks. As all of this was happening, while the Titans were searching for world souls. I mean, Sargeras was a Titan too. He was also searching. While the Void Lords were doing their business, life also began taking shape in the Twisting Nether, like I said before. So we got the demons. The demons were also being born. The demons were being born in the universe. And even though the Twisting Nether is not a part of the physical universe, they kind of seeped in. They had been formed. So life began to also take shape in the Twisting Nether. They had been formed as a result of the light and void energies that had bled together at the borders of the Twisting Nether. The demons embraced their furious passions and reveled in pushing the boundaries of their power, heedless of the consequences. Many of these aberrations indulged in highly volatile energy that pervaded the Nether. Some learned to wield the all-consuming powers of fell magic. Before long, these bloodthirsty demons clawed their way into the physical universe, terrorizing mortal civilizations and bringing ruin to world after world. So the demons were out there, and they made their way into the physical universe. There are levels to the demons and kind of hierarchies. Some demons are more powerful than others, like the Nethrezim or the Pit Lords. Those kinds of demons actually enslave other demons and use them to do their own demon bidding. So they kind of have hierarchies, but they're not ordered. The big thing with demons is that they're disorder. They fall under the cosmic power of disorder. That's where they came from. They came from the mixture of the light and void. So they're not at all ordered. And that's kind of like a nod to how they came to be too, because they just kind of burst forth of the Twisting Nether, which is just, there was no order to it. They were just boom there. And then all of a sudden in the universe. And so they sent forth, and so the Titans began to take notice of, the demons kind of making a big mess everywhere on all the planets that they had spent time ordering. And so they sent forth their mightiest warrior, Sargeras, to quell the demons, for fear that they would corrupt the world soul and impede on the Titans' quest of awakening these world souls. So Sargeras set out and vowed to cleanse the universe of the demons, and he promised he would not stop until he saw the job done and that he had ridded the world, or the universe, of demons. But as Sargeras set out, he laid waste to countless demons and on countless worlds where demons had devastated civilizations and warped their denizens into hateful and volatile aberrations. They can only be truly killed in the Twisting Nether, though, and Sargeras did not yet know this. And as we stated before, they can only, so essentially you can kill them in the physical plane, but their spirit reforms in the Twisting Nether, and essentially they could just they pop right back out. They're like, hey, haha, gotcha. They can only truly be killed in the Twisting Nether, and Sargeras was originally unaware of this. He only knew that after killing them, they would return. So he needed a means to contain them instead. So remember Agramar. Agramar was not the real god of war. He was, the runner-up. So Sargeras asked Agramar to help him out and join him in his battles. And so Agramar started fighting the battles against the demons himself, while Sargeras took time to study the Twisting Nether and to figure out, hey, what the frick are these little nasties doing all over the place? And so he did that and essentially studied it so well that he figured out how to manipulate the powers of the Twisting Nether, and he created the plane of banishment from Twisting Nether powers. He called it was called Mardoom. Hi, Jabberwock. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. So the demons could be forever vanquished when they were killed. So whenever he killed one, he sent them to Mardoom. They were finally locked away. They were finally no more making a mess. No more disorder. No more. I just cleaned this house. Why'd you mess it up? And then there was peace in the cosmos. For a time. But eventually Sargeras discovered a far greater threat. The Void Lords. So they didn't really know about what the Void Lords were doing. They didn't know them yet. They were like, what was going on? What's going on? Remember, folks, if y'all study practice long enough, you too can manipulate ethereal planes. It's true. Let's shake all the void and push them somewhere else. But see, you need void to counterbalance light, or you need order to counterbalance disorder. Otherwise, it all falls to pieces. It falls to pieces. So I'm gonna read this section that we're gonna go be on an ad break. For ages, Sargeras traveled to these beleaguered worlds, fighting to spare their mortal inhabitants from invading demons. He saw his foes reduce entire civilizations to smoldering husks, warping their denizens into hateful and deprived aberrations. Witnessing the staggering loss of and ruin-filled I must have missed something. Witnessing the staggering loss filled with Sargeras with an overwhelming sense of helplessness. Nevertheless, the unruly demons were disorganized and incompetent. Sargeras easily defeated his foes, winning victory after victory. As his battles dragged on, he became aware that some demons learned how to wield void energies. Through investigating these dark powers, where they were originated from, Sargeras discovered that the malign intelligence were spreading corruption throughout the cosmos. And what is this malign intelligence? I wonder. We'll find out after these messages. All right, get some water, stretch your legs if you need to. We're gonna go into we're getting towards the I think I'm getting, what slide is this? We're getting further into the end of my slides. So we will be right back. Take a little break. I'm gonna drink some water, let my dogs go to the bathroom, and then we will continue the lore. Also, thank you, Jabberwock, for the sub. I missed it. Wow. Thank you for the sub. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna let my dogs go potty. All right, we're back. Speaking of demons, born of the twisting nether, I had to feed my dogs. They're like, please, mother, we're so hungry. We only had a snack in the middle of the day after breakfast. And I said, yes, puppies. You hunger like the void. Like the void doth hunger for energies boundless. Okay. Back to it. Where am I? Let's get back to it. Hello, Raisin Brant. I love your name. This is a lore stream. Welcome in. We're doing the lore of World of Warcraft, part 1. This is part 1, folks. This is Intro to World of Warcraft lore 101. Welcome in. Welcome in. I had to tuck in my old man cat in the blanket earlier. Yeah, we got to take care of the pets, the sweet little babies. Give that cat a pet. I'm new to WoW, so I have a lot to learn. Well, perfect. You're in the right spot. I've made this specifically for new people who are new to WoW, or who are just casual players too. So I hope you enjoy. We are pretty midway through it, so this part in particular might be a little bit confusing, but feel free to go back into the VOD. I will keep it. It will be right up after I'm done streaming, and scrub through it. I will also be posting my slides to the Discord. Sorry for the Discord plug, but I also don't know where else to put these slides. So if you want to read them yourself, they have links attached to them too. Feel free. Feel free. Nice and concise. Already made for you. This is just the beginning. There's 30 slides. There's 30 slides. That's all right. I know nothing, so anything helps. Let's go. We'll help you enjoy. Let's continue. Okay, so we left off. We got Sargeras. He's a Titan. We left off. He set out and he was killing all the demons. Thank you, Raisin Brat, for the follow. And thank you. We hit 1,600. Thank you very much. Follow a goal achieved. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. And welcome in. So he was killing all the demons and he was like, okay, the demons keep coming back. Let's make a prison for them out of the twisting nether. And he did that and put them in timeout. And there was an era of peace. But he found there was a malign intelligence driving corruption throughout the rest of the universe. And he's like, what the heck is going on? What the heck's going on? So it would be this discovery that would lead to what is called the fall of Sargeras, or the betrayal of Sargeras. So you remember how he looked all fiery and shit? Like he was on fire? Well, we're about to get to that. About to get to that part. So let's read another excerpt from the Chronicles. He was drawn to a remote corner of the Great Dark, where cold void energies radiated out from the black and desiccated world. There, Sargeras found enormous beings he had never seen, festering across the world's surface. These were the old gods, and they had embedded themselves in the world and shrouded it in a veil of void energy. Sorry. With growing horror, Sargeras realized that this was not just any world. He had heard the world soul dreaming within its core. But these were not the joyous dreams Sargeras recognized from other world souls. They were dark and horrific nightmares. The old god's tendrils had burrowed deep, enveloping the slumbering Titan's spirit in shadow. A conclave of Nethrezim, which is type of demon, big bad demon, had also discovered this black world. They came to dwell on it among the old gods, basking in their dark power. Sensing their evil, Sargeras captured and ruthlessly interrogated the Nethrezim. The broken demons revealed what they had learned about the old gods and the intentions of the Void Lords. If the powers of the Void succeeded in corrupting a nascent Titan, it would awaken as an unspeakably dark creature. No power in creation, not even the Pantheon, could stand against it. In time, the Warp Titan would consume all matter and energy in the universe, bringing every mote of existence under the Void Lord's will. Sargeras, the undefeated champion of the Titans, knew fear for the first time. So he figured out what the heck was the Void Lords and what they were planning to do. And that scared the bejeebies out of him. He was like, huh? Bro, what? Bro, what? He was not a fan of that. He was not a fan. And so you see this image here. You see what he's doing with his big old sword. And that was the planet. He's like, yeah, that one's got to go. That one's gotta go. So Sargeras had reached a dire conclusion. Oh, hold on. I'm tilting. Hold on. Let me get all comfy. Sargeras reached a dire conclusion and destroyed the world soul he had found consumed by the void gods and the void lord's corruption. So he destroyed it. He's like, we're not doing that shit. We are not. We are not. Sargeras turned his attention to the black world itself. His heart ached with sorrow, for he knew there was only one way to stop the Dark Titan from rising. With a heave of his blade, Sargeras split the world in two. The resultant explosion consumed the old gods and their energies, but killed the nascent Titan as well. So, after he did all that, he brought this information back to the Pantheon, he told them. And they were stunned, but they were also pissed. They were pissed, bro, that he would act so rashly as to destroy the slumbering Titan. They argued they could have attempted to cure it of the corruption that took hold. He tried in vain to convince them that what he did was necessary, that there was no other way. He was very certain that there was no other way to save the Titan. After interrogating and finding out what the demons knew, he was like, there's no other, like, if it wakes up, we're cooked, bro. Like, the universe is cooked, we're cooked, it's cooked. And so he really truly believed that there wasn't any other way. And so he tried to convince them, like, hey, like, we got to figure this out. Sargeras expressed his growing fear that existence itself was already flawed, an idea he had come to terms with following his encounter with the old gods. So after he saw the old gods, he's like, I've never seen life like this. It's just like bad. It's just bad. And so he was like, if existence can have this, then we already messed up. Order is already messed up. It's already fallen to disorder. And that's, order is what the Titans were all about. Again, whether or not that is a good call, whether or not that is good or evil, you gotta decide. Only by burning away all of creation could the Titans stand a chance of thwarting the Void Lord's ultimate goal. In Sargeras' mind, even a lifeless universe was better than one dominated by the void. Life had taken root in the cosmos once before. Perhaps after the physical universe was scoured of corruption, life could take root again. So he believed that, they needed to do a big reset on all existence. They needed to reset it all in order to beat the Void Lords from corrupting it. Which, could have been pretty flawed thinking, because, like, it's not like they were going to, like, destroy themselves. Like, the Titans were not gonna destroy themselves. They would still be existing after they destroyed the universe. It also stands to reason, too, that they didn't have access to the Void Lords because the Void Lords existed out of the plane of reality. And so the Void Lords would still exist, so likely it would just be a repeat of everything again. Anyway, so his thinking was also a little bit flawed, but also the Titan's thinking was very rigid, and he knew that, like, there wasn't a real way to cure the Titan yet, that they knew. They didn't have a way to do it yet, and so he was like, no, we gotta figure out this shit quick. Anyway, this idea horrified the rest of the Pantheon. Eredar, so Mother Earth, Lifebinder. The Lifebinder reminded Sargeras that the Titans had sworn to protect the living things whenever possible. Nothing could be so dire as to warrant systemic extinction. Even Agrimar stood against his mentor, arguing that there must be another way to defeat the Void Lords. He urged Sargeras to abandon this dark plan and reason out another solution. Overcome with despair and feelings of betrayal, Sargeras stormed away from the other Titans. He knew full well that his kin would never see reason. And if they would not help him expel the Void Lord's corruption, then he would do it himself. This was the last time the Titans of the Pantheon would see him as one of their own. So the betrayal of Sargeras. And so Sargeras set out a new goal at hand, a new goal in mind, to purge the universe completely. He went to Mordoom, so the prison that he made by himself with the twisting nether powers. He's like, I'm about to undo all that shit. He went to Mordoom, the prison he constructed himself to hold back endless tides of demons, and he cleaved it open. He smashed it with his hammer. He smashed it with his sword and opened it wide up, and the fires fell forth, and it actually changed. That's why he looks like this. There was big explosion. It actually changed his form. And then he took control of the demons, and that would become his legion. The Burning Legion. Wow. So there's the rise of the Burning Legion. We are getting towards the end because I'm getting very close to my 30th slide. All right. So now we're getting into this. That was like kind of like the Titan timeline. Now we're getting into kind of the Burning Legion era timeline. There's a lot of stuff that's going on throughout the universe in the meantime, but we're going to focus on, you know, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. So let's keep our focus on Sargeras and the Burning Legion. What are they getting up to? So he formed his legion. So though Sargeras was a great warrior and leader, the legion of demons at his command were chaotic and unruly and, get this, disorderly, because they were from Val. They were of disorder. They were the power of disorder. And if he stood any hope of stopping the Void Lords and purging the universe, he needed a better structure for his legion. And so he sought out a race of unfathomably intelligent and technologically advanced mortals, the Eredar, to bolster his ranks in the Legion. And he contacted them, taking form of a benevolent being. So remember when I was reading the book? That actually dives right into that. And when I put this to YouTube, I might insert that section of reading into this, because that was essentially how it all played out. Next. Oh, okay, yes, I will open the link, but I'm also gonna go next. We will read about the Eredar after I get some through these slides. So, the timeline, Rise of the Burning Legion, Sargeras in this benevolent form. Let me scooch away. Let me scooch away so y'all can see. All this, there's a bunch of stuff now. Sargeras in this form, he approached the three leaders of the Eredar. They ruled as a triumvirate. The three leaders were Archimonde, Kil'jaeden, and Velen. And he promised them vast powers, and he also promised that he would use his power to transform the race into an even greater one, so that they may spread his universal union. Notice he didn't say legion. A troubling vision. So Velen was there. All three of them were there for that, and Velen was the only one that was like, that's suspicious. That's weird. Because he had also asked them to pledge their loyalty to him, to Sargeras. And Velen was like, I don't know. It seems a little weird, guys. And so he went and he meditated, and he touched the stone called the... Oh, I forgot what the stone's called, but it was made of light. Essentially, it was part of the light. Anyway, he touched it, and a vision came to him. And he had the troubling vision. And he saw the Eredar transformed into unspeakable demons, which he called the Minari. So they took the, they went from being all blue and purple and other stuff like that to red and green and looking like they do over here. So that's what the Eredar would become. And he called them Minari, which means the terrible one, something like that, like terrible changed. But despite Velen's misgivings, Archimonde and Kil'jaeden agreed to join Sargeras' Burning Legion. So the Eredar were the first sentient race to pledge their allegiance to Sargeras. Knowing that other sentient beings would inevitably join the Legion, the Eredar was declared the primary language of the Burning Legion. So Eredun would be the Legion's common language. And their world was called Argus, and it became Burning Legion's stronghold. And this is what it looks like after the Legion kind of took hold over it. It used to be lush and beautiful, kind of very earth-like, very pretty, very technologically advanced, very shiny, and then it got Nickelodeon slimed. So that was kind of the end of that. We will dive into these in a moment, because these are all... There's info and lore to be had here. We'll dive into those characters in just a minute, but we'll continue the rest of my slides, because it's only a couple left. Getting towards the end. All right. So after that, Velen took just a few of the Draenai, well, not called Draenai yet. He took a few of the Eredar with him to escape this big old, because he did not want to be a part of it. He did not want to be a part of the Burning Legion. He didn't want to become Minari. He didn't want his people to become Minari. He saw them as slaves to the Burning Legion, and he's like, I don't want that for my people. And so, with his fellow Eredar already becoming corrupted by the demonic power, Velen, along with those who would follow him, split from the bulk of Eredar society, who were by now a twisted demonic reflection of the original Eredar on Argus. With the help of the Naru, so remember when I said they were very kind of light-oriented, Draenai light-oriented. This is where it comes into play. With the help of the Naru and renaming themselves Draenai, or exiled ones in Eredun, Velen and the Draenai fled, and he was only about 100 strong. There was only about like 100 Draenai or so that escaped with him. Meanwhile, the rest of the population of Argus, on Argus, became Minari and joined the Burning Legion. The Minari, so called because of their transformation into demons, continued to call themselves Eredar. Under killed Jaden, and they were infuriated with what they perceived as a betrayal of Velen. You know, they were infuriated with Velen escaping. They hunted Velen and the Draenai across dozens of worlds for thousands of years, literally thousands of years. And the Draenai used the massive Naru dimensional ship. So the Naru transformed itself into a ship, kind of like, imagine like Jake the dog. It turned itself into a ship. And they found a new home. And every time it would seem that the Draenai found a new home, the Burning Legion would fall upon them. So they were doing this cat and mouse chase for thousands of years. Until, what are all these pictures? What are these two? What are these two? What's this? Until this chase continued for thousands of years, and Velen and his people would have to find a planet to hide away on every time, only again to be discovered, until they finally landed on a planet called Draenor. This planet was inhabited by a certain race called the Orcs, and the Draenai landing on this planet would kick off the events that would lead to the eventual formation of the Horde and the opening of the Dark Portal. Wow. Wow. World of Warcraft, baby. So that's part 1. I did go over 2 hours. I didn't believe in my yapping skills, but I did it. We actually have a little bit more to dive into because I have a bunch of links that are linked in the slides. But yeah, that was 30 slides, guys. We got through 30 slides today. So yeah, that's where we're gonna leave that there for now. So the Draenai landed on Draenor. Notice that Draenor is a different planet. It's not Azeroth. So what the heck? Are orcs aliens? The answer is yes. Orcs are aliens. My brain is mush now. You're welcome. Thank you for the follow. Imperial Victus, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I'll take a quick stretch really quick. 1 second. Oh, wow, wowie, yowie. But I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so we're gonna dive into a little bit of the tabs that I have open here. So let's go back to the Eredar. The Eredar. Greetings, adventurers. Greetings. Welcome in. Here, let me fix this really quick. Can I like full screen this instead? So you don't have to see my tabs. No, you guys see my tabs. I'll just stand big and tall over here. Big and ominous. I'm like a Titan. Look at me. I'm like a Titan. What would I be a Titan of? I probably would be like along with Anar and the Norganon magic and nature stuff. Yeah. Titan of Strobe. Okay, so a little bit more about the Eredar. The Eredar are a race of supremely talented magic wielders who arose on the planet Argus countless millennia ago. So also to note, the Eredar are, in fact, one of the oldest mortal beings in the universe. One of the oldest races in the universe. Exceptionally skilled in magic, their mastery of the arcane arts were renowned through the scattered worlds of the Great Dark Beyond. Led by a triumvirate of wise and powerful leaders, Kil'jaeden, Archimonde, and Velen, they built a civilization of wondrous cities and a peaceful way of life on their home world. However, 13,000 years ago, it's like when people do like the thanks for 13 followers, but it's actually 13,000. So 13,000 years ago, and 13,000 years ago, the marker for years ago is the opening of the Dark Portal. So 13,000 years before the Dark Portal opened, the Dark Titan, or the fallen Titan Sargeras, shattered the tranquility of Argus by offering the Eredar immeasurable knowledge and power. And so, oh yeah, to note, since the Eredar were all about intellect, and especially their leaders were very much like, that's what was persuading them to be like, oh yeah, that's a great deal. We could have even more knowledge and intellect. That's kind of what they were. That's what they were all about. Obviously, because they were magical beings. He offered them immeasurable knowledge and power. The Eredar were a knowledge-seeking race. Such Kil'jaeden and Archimonde accepted Sargeras' offer. The Titan bathed the Eredar in his fell might, and he turned them into demonic members of the Burning Legion. Velen and his followers, however, managed to flee Argus with the help of the divine Naru, who would rename the Draenai. Rename them Draenai. Oh, that's right. The Naru renamed them Draenai. So that's where Draenai came from, was from the Naru. The Draenai refer to the corrupted brethren as Manari, unnatural beings. They have stopped referring to themselves as Eredar because of the negative connotation it now has, with the Burning Legion. And the Manari exclusively call themselves Eredar still. Following the vast majority of Eredar being turned into demons, although it is still the name of the race. The Manari Eredar act as some of the most powerful weapons in the Burning Legion's arsenal. Skilled sorcerers in both fell and shadow magics, they are often found in command of contingents of demon forces. When facing Manari Eredar of great power, large armies are useless for the most part. Their corruptive power over mortals are such that only the strongest willed can even stand to face with them. So, pretty intense. Pretty intense. Why do I keep shrinking? I'm shrinking! Oh god, I'm shrinking. Stop. Is this just saying the same thing? Oh, this dives a little bit more into it. Just a tad bit. Nearly 25,000 years ago, so before Sargeras showed up, on the planet of Argus, the noble and enigmatic Eredar race arose. So they came to be 25,000 years ago. They're one of the oldest known races in the universe, which is pretty young in the scheme of things. 25,000 is not that far back. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, they were extremely intelligent, had natural affinity for magic in all of its forms. Using their gifts, they developed vast and wondrous cities, which art, science, magic, and technology were all as one. Their society was powered by argonite, so like crystals, stones, and they were aided in this development by an ancient artifact known as the Atamal. Atamal. Yeah, that's right. Oh, so remember when I said Velen had touched the stone? That was called the Atamal crystal, a triangular crystal whose origin is still a mystery to the Eredar, or was a mystery to the Eredar, though it had been back then it was a mystery. It had been a gift bestowed upon them by the Naru in ancient times. The Eredar hunted a great horned beast for sport. The Eredar were apparently ruled by political regimes under the rule of multiple capable persons. The second Duumvirate consisted of Kil'jaeden and Velen. So it was the two of them at the time. Velen was exceptional master of holy magic, who once used Tu'ur, a holy artifact known of the Naru, and to cure a curse that robbed the Eredar of their mental capabilities. An order of Eredar magics called the Wakeners, under the leadership of Thal'Kiel, first delved into the void and summoned demons. So there was like a touch of demon stuff going on before Kil'jaeden before Sargeras entered the picture. Presenting this before the Duumvirate, hoping to gain acceptance of them, but was denied. He was denied. So the Thal'Kiel was the first one to kind of dabble a little bit in demon magics, and he showed them to Velen and Kil'jaeden, and they're like, nah. When denied, he secretly summoned even more demons to usurp the Duumvirate and become the sole dictator of Argus. He was betrayed by his apprentice Archimonde, enter Archimonde, who decapitated Thal'Kiel, and his order was hunted and their scriptures burned. So it's kind of crazy that after all that, Kil'jaeden and Archimonde still said, yeah, We'll join the Burning Legion. Though they didn't know at the time, because Sargeras presented himself as a benevolent being. Like the way he's described in the book, he was like shining in golden light. Like he looked like holy magic kind of vibe. And so they were like, yeah, full trust. I don't know what they thought after they got transformed. I think there's something that there has to be some novel or lore that dives into that on like the thought of what killed Jaden and Archimonde felt and thought. But I think they were also just invigorated by the power that they got from it anyway, that they didn't care anymore. And all that they saw was their power. Dark Titan Sargeras. Magical affinity. Let's see. With his fellow Eredar becoming... Oh yeah, we already did that. Both factions continue to use the Eredar language, travel through the most of the cosmos. Yep. Demonic Eredar. Eredar, this word once had meaning. So anyway. Of subspecies, interesting. Anyway, that's the Draenai and the Eredar. And all that jazz. What do we have about Archimonde and... What did I thought I pulled up a... I thought I pulled up a tab on Kill Jaden. Oh, they even have a bit about his youth. Well, these are linked in the presentation, so I will go ahead and just stick that in the Discord. I think I have to export it out as a PDF first, but I am gonna call it here because I have gone on for 3 hours, which is better than I thought. I thought I was gonna be a little bit under time, but I should have known better. I should have known that I was actually gonna yap craft it all the way. Oh, where did my tab go? I don't know where my tab went. I'm in a floating world, a floating empty world. I'm in the void even. Oh my God, guys, I'm in the void. Appreciate all your research. Thank you. Yeah, I have so much WoW lore in my head. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'll keep you guys posted for part 2. I'll probably just do it each week so I could just keep it going straight ahead. Before I get too tired. Before I get too tired. So expect next WoW Wednesday to be part 2. Part 2 coming up hot. But let me look for a raid for y'all really quick. So don't go anywhere quite yet. But thank you for joining me very much. I had a lot of fun just nerding out all over the place. Nerding out all over you guys. I appreciate you putting up with me nerding out all over. All over. Let me stop the raids coming in for me. Let's see who is live really quick. Really quick, Ali. And what we want to go to today. Can't wait for more of these info dump streams. I hope so, because they're coming. I can't be stopped. It's happening. I'm just gonna keep info dumping until nobody shows up, and even if nobody shows up, I'm gonna info dump anyway because I really want to, because I love World of Warcraft. I love it so much. Oh, Bubba's streaming. We should go to Bubba. We haven't gone to Bubba in a while. Let me check and see. Is anybody streaming World of Warcraft? It'd be really fun if they were, but I doubt. Oh my gosh. A lot of people are streaming right now. So many people, so many peeps are streaming. All right, well, let me get you that raid. Here is the raid message. The star drops are dropping in. They're dropping in, huh? Make sure to say hello. Let's see. Let me make sure Bubba's still going. Why doesn't she show up on my list? I feel like my raid list thing, when I go into raid channel, doesn't show up very well. Or maybe she just turned off raids. Maybe she's ending too. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be crazy? We have a couple other places to go if Bubba's wrapping up. But let me go to her channel really quick and double check. Thank you for the sippies. I need it. My throat is dry. I've done a lot of talking today. Let's see. Oh? Okay, she's only been going for 2 hours or two and a half hours. So I think that's enough time. Let's send you over before she ends. So thank you for hanging out with me. I had so much fun. What days do you normally stream? I normally stream Monday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I now have a steady stream schedule. Wow, yay. I start at 2:30 p.m. PST on most days, except for Friday. Friday I reserve to do either in the evenings or whatever time I feel like. But now that I'm not taking, this week I'm not taking singing lessons, so my Thursdays are also at 2:30, but sometimes Thursdays are moved to 4:30 because I am often doing singing lessons. But that is the vibe. My schedule should pop up just after I end, but make sure to go say hello to Bubba. I will be streaming tomorrow, so we're doing more lesson stuff. So tomorrow is art day. I'm going to be doing an art lesson stream that I had been kind of I haven't cooked anything. I have literally nothing prepared for it, but I'm going to teach anyway. And so... what was I gonna say? My brain just died mid-sentence. Does that ever happen to y'all? Do you just, you're yapping, then all of a sudden, it's like your brain stalls out. It's like I shifted into I let go of the clutch too soon. Oh my God, car stuff. Anyway, I am streaming. I'm doing a art stream tomorrow where I teach you guys how to critique your own work. It's a little bit more of like advanced art, but it also can apply to beginner art as well. And it turns out that tomorrow's just gonna be art day because Seb is also doing an art stream after at 5 p.m. PST, I think. So after you're done with me, you can go right over to her and watch her do an art study. So go and do that. Let me give her a quick little shouty outy. Make sure go check out my tree guardian. Sebe this. Make sure I'm spelling her right. Oh, thank you, Vicious. Thank you. Anyway, okay, I'll stop yapping at your faces. Say hello to Bubba, and I will see you guys tomorrow for learning how to critique your own art. And the way I'm going to teach you is I'm going to critique my art. I'm critiquing my art on stream, so you get to see my thought processes, as if you haven't seen enough into my brain already. It's full of wow. It's full of wow. But thank you. Have a good night, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.